Howdy, folks, and welcome to NotJay Builds, episode 9. It's Reese, it's me, it's maybe McMurray if he gets back into a good cell signal area. He is currently driving across the back roads of northern Missouri.
The great state of Missouri!
Woo! There you are, buddy.
For the time being, absolutely.
So, we're just doing our thing again tonight. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about, but I'm sure it'll be about something. So, Reese, what are you working on?
I've got some 54 millimeter British/Canadian troops.
What?
I know, right? 54 millimeter.
What? Get out of town.
And then some cobblestone sidewalks for various urban layouts.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, I've got a Yoda that I'm going to be painting up and an Ugnaught. So I'll get those guys going. And then I did get these finished last night. The Space Marines. They are my own chapter design. They are a successor chapter to Blood Angels. So they're going to fight like Blood Angels.
Are they the blood donors?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they're going to end up donating a lot of blood in buckets.
Blood to the blood god.
No. We fight those guys. Those are the first 4 guys for the escalation campaign that my brother and I are doing. So, all right, let's look at what we got for in the chat here. Nangoya Chris says, I'm listening to Mike Darrow's I Like This when I get notified that you're doing a show. Sweet. I'll do other things this evening, but hope you have a wicked one. Thank you, sir. Charles comes in and says, Chris, stay. You can listen while you're doing other stuff all the time with different shows I'm watching and listening to. And a very good evening to all of you here. Thank you, Charles. Telemachus says, greets, peeps. How you doing, buddy? Me and Mike gives y'all. I can get online if you want more company. We might bring you on there, Mike. Telemachus, state of Zura. Yep. And then Charles is making dinner. What you making, Charles?
Sure.
Let us know. Inquiring minds want to know.
And also, did he make enough for all of us or just him?
Right?
Yeah, did you bring enough for the whole class, Charles?
Because actually, I'm a little peaked. I'm a little peckish. All I've had today was a sweet roll and a half a can of Chef Boyardee ravioli.
Did you split it with Donna?
Yeah.
Aww.
It is too damn hot in this house to be cranking up the oven or cranking up the stove, and we do not want to turn the air conditioner on yet. It's really not that hot. It's just very, very humid.
Accurate.
And there's me and Mike now.
At least your brain works and you sleep during the day or at nighttime. I'm trying to sleep during the daytime. It's hot as shit.
Oh yeah. Give you an idea of what we're looking at right now, weather-wise. It is currently 74 degrees, so not that bad. I might actually open up my window here. We got a 30% chance of thunderstorms up until about 10 o'clock tonight. But the telling story is that the dew point's 69%, or 60, not 69%, it's 69 degrees with a humidity
All
of
right,
87.
all right, all right, all right.
Oh man, Charles, that sounds great. Eggs, bacon, beans, cheese, bread, and I don't do delivery. Oh man. Now, are those beans refried beans? Because if they're refried beans and that bread becomes a tortilla, chef's kiss for breakfast tacos, buddy. Yeah, Chris Long brings up Kathy Wapple passed away either earlier today or yesterday. So I know James isn't watching right now for obvious reasons, but my whole heart condolences going out to you and yours, Jim. That is a terrible tragedy. Hate to see it happen because fuck cancer. I'll just be right out there with that. Um, so we lost Warmutt's mom recently. Then Warmutt had another family friend pass away. So he had two funerals back to back. Yesterday was his mom's. Today was a friend's of his. And then we find out earlier today that Kathy Wapple died. So it all sucks. So, all right, hold on. I'm gonna throw open my windows and see if I can't get a little breeze going in through here.
Mike, I see you changed your headgear.
Probably not gonna get any air coming through because it is. The trees are not moving in the slightest. But we'll see.
So, Reese, you eat turkey, or do you feel that that's too close to home?
I don't care. I raised cattle growing up. I ate beef. I raised 11 pigs my senior year of high school. I ate one of those. Had no problems doing it. I care less.
Hey, Hexy, how you doing, buddy? I'm painting Yoda in an Ugnaught. Reese has got 54 millimeter. I know. Shocking, right? McMurray is driving through the environs of northwestern Missouri, and Meandering Mike is looking dapper in his cowboy hat. Nope, he must
Lost McMurray.
Lost the McMurray.
Sounded like he was coughing up a lung earlier.
What's that?
Sounded like McMurray was coughing up a lung earlier.
No, that was just the crap signal in northwest Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
So, anywho, I hope everybody has had a good week so far. Oh yeah, that's a good ring for Yoda. So if you're looking to paint Yoda, Plague Bearer Flesh contrast.
Can you translate that into Army Painter speed paints?
I don't know. Kind of a dirty lime green.
Yoda green for whatever paint that is.
Yeah. Because Yoda man.
Mike, you haven't met me, but I am a smart aleck to the nth degree when I get comfortable with people. So.
Oh, I love me my bad humor. I spew it out.
Sounds good.
So,
sometimes it gets me banned. ID Jester kicked me off his channel for 5 minutes for making a bad joke.
Oof.
Boo. Okay.
5 minutes of timeout.
It does take quite a bit for me to time somebody out, but bad jokes will never be that reason. Yeah, it's bad jokes are never a reason to ban somebody or put somebody in timeout. I'll just say that. Man, he's going to be quick to paint up.
Is it like 3 colors in a wash?
I'm not even going to worry about a wash. I mean, let's be honest. I'm painting
here.
with washes. Oh yeah, Telemachus says it is dark barf green for Army Painter.
Is that like, is he being serious? I can't tell.
No.
Okay, I don't know Army Painter well enough to know if dark barf green was actually going to be a color or not.
Probably not.
The strawberries have arrived.
Okay, so this is what you need to do: is bake up some pie crust, just pie crust with a little sugar on top of it as it's baking. Pull that out, break it up into a bowl, put your sliced strawberries that you've put some sugar on top of, and so you got a nice little zhuzh there. Dump that in with half and half. Boom, done.
I bet that's
best thing ever. I can hear her laughing at me.
So she's Hi,
Mrs. Reese.
Hello.
By the way, McMurray has named you Mrs. Reese.
Okay.
So.
I've been called worse.
Oh man. I've been watching a lot of Star Trek lately. Specifically Picard. We've watched all 3 seasons of Picard. I just watched the first season of Strange New Worlds, which is really good. If you like especially if you like original Star Trek, Strange New Worlds is great.
Is that the one with Anson Mount?
Yeah, Anson Mount. Yes, he does a great Christopher Pike. I love how they've written the character. He's very down to earth. He's almost the opposite of Kirk. He's like the anti-Kirk, and I love it. The kid, I said kid, who's probably in his late 20s, early 30s, that plays Spock is actually Gregory Peck's grandson.
Cool.
And Rebecca Romaine is his first officer, number 1. It's really, really good. It feels like original Star Trek to me. Doesn't look like original Star Trek, other than the uniform colors, and the Enterprise looks like the Enterprise. But hey, that's okay. You know, you're looking at a TV show that was made in 2022, not 1966. So, we'll enjoy it. Also, if you're a Next Generation fan, a great series is Lower Decks. It's animated, but it's great too.
Funny.
It's funny. Oh God, it's so funny. They even have the Next Generation actors coming in and voice acting for their character cameos. So, like, they've got Jonathan Frakes coming in to play Riker, and they've got Marina Sirtis to play Troy, etc. Hey, Tim, how you doing, buddy? Thanks for joining us tonight.
Tim D.
Yeah, I've been on a Star Trek kick lately. Because, hey, I like Star Trek as much as I like Star Wars. Walkabout Games. Chris Long is saying he's working on some Stargate minis for a Fistful of Lead. Are those the Stargate minis that were done by, I think it was Phoenix Miniatures back in the late 90s, early 2000s, or not late 90s, but late 90s, early 2000s? Or did you find some STLs? If you found some STLs and they're actual, they look like the they look like Stargate, not close enough Stargate, let me know. Hextech says he's on the 3rd season of Discovery. It's fucking awesome. So I was having difficulty getting through the 1st season. I didn't like the main character, the girl named Michael, and not because it's a girl named Michael or that or anything like that. It just she didn't seem like a.
Feel ambiguous about her in what she did.
Yeah, I don't know. I might give it another shot. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Tim says he does not have Paramount Plus. The only reason I've got Paramount Plus is because my daughter has Paramount Plus.
We've been thinking about getting it. I don't know if it's worth it or not. But
if you're a Star Trek fan, it's got all of Star Trek. Rewatching the original on Tubi, but Paramount pulled it. Yeah.
Yeah, I've had very little exposure to Star Trek. I'm not opposed to it. I've liked what
Yeah.
I've seen. Nothing's reached out and grabbed me. So
Okay, Hex. I will take your word for it. I'll go ahead and slog my way through the 1st season and get into 2nd season to watch it.
Michelle Yeoh shows up.
Okay. What? Wait a second. Is she the actress that also played the Vulcan in Picard?
No.
I was Trek before I was Wars. Well, Charles, I mean, you also knew Christ when he was a corporal, so of course you were Trek before you were Wars. I didn't have that luxury. I was a week away from turning 7 when Star Wars came out, and the Hidden Dragon. Hidden Dragon. Yeah. The only thing I remember about that movie is a whole lot of sword fights on the top of bamboo.
A lot of jumping and running up and bouncing up the walls and running
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
rooftop.
It was parkour before parkour was cool, right?
Wire fu, as they call it. Wire fu.
Right. I'm about to find out, Hexy. That's a good thing about not having topics. We can just go wherever the hell we want to.
Lucy Liu was in one of the Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, Lucy Liu was in Charlie's Angels. That's right. Thank you.
Michelle Yeoh could have played a villain in there or something, but she wasn't one of the angels.
There we go, Michelle Yeoh.
She just won an Oscar.
Wow. Okay. I'm starting to feel like Charles now. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon came out in 2000.
Yes. Long time ago.
She was also in Crazy Rich Asians.
Yes, as the mother. One of the mothers.
Okay, so now I got to figure out who played the The Vulcan in Star Trek Picard.
Character what? Saren was her name, or
No. She was the she was the
she was Romulan.
Starfleet chief.
Oh,
Yeah, she was. She was actually the. She was like the main.
Yeah, don't want to spoiler there. Got to be careful.
Right.
If you have Walmart Plus, Paramount is free.
Yeah, if you have Walmart Plus, if you have Walmart Plus, you get Paramount Plus.
Oh, really? That's a cool benefit.
Yeah.
What exactly does Walmart Plus give me? I mean, I live
free
in
delivery.
Walmart's hometown, but
Free delivery. You can get that same day delivery from Walmart, which is normally $7.95. Well, it depends on the area, but you can get free on that delivery fee for Walmart Plus. So if you deliver from Walmart a lot, it can save you bucks, and they have other bonuses like Paramount Plus.
I've never delivered groceries from Walmart, but I might have to look into that. So.
Okay. No, that's season 3 is why. I don't want to see season 3. I want to see season 1.
Mostly because there's a Walmart every quarter mile up here. But
yeah, you've got Walmarts like Alabama's got.
Home office is just a bow shot that way. So.
Yeah. You've got Walmarts like Georgia's got Waffle Houses.
Mm-hmm. Or Florida's got Publix's.
Yeah. Or Texas has got HEBs.
Yep.
God, I miss HEB.
Those are great stores. The only thing that threw me off was you had to like bring your own bag or pay for a bag, which I was okay with. It just threw me off.
Well, that's a.
Or was that an Austin thing?
That's an Austin thing.
Okay. Because it was
because Austin so badly wants to be West Coast.
Parts of Austin, I can see that. Parts of Austin, I'd say no, but.
Tamlin Tomita was Commodore O.
Okay.
She was in The Day After Tomorrow, Karate Kid Part 2, Tekken.
She would have been pretty young in Karate Kid Part 2.
Well, she was
play the girl.
She was born in '66 in Okinawa.
Karate Kid Part 2 is like 1986.
Yeah, so she was 20.
19 or 20 when it was filmed, yeah. She must have been the love interest.
In Karate Kid Part 2, potentially.
Okinawa.
Yeah, with Pat Morita. Arnold.
That's what I forgot to get at Walmart today. It was more super glue.
We'll see if you had Walmart Plus. You could order it online. They could deliver it to you for free.
Yep.
See how that plays out? See, it all works out.
Hey Hexy, this one's for you, and I know Mutt, you're probably not watching today, but this one's for you too. Picked up this today for $4.
Battlefield 2. There you go, buddy.
I had never played it. I saw it. I was like, I got to get it for Hexy. So,
does your computer even have a CD anymore? Can you even load a CD-ROM?
Oh yeah, I built my own gaming computer, so it'll do anything I ask it to. So,
my old Tim D says my old instructor is somewhere above 80 and still teaches us. I pity anyone who messes with him.
I've got the chicken dance stuck in my head now.
John Longshore says I pay for Paramount. Can't miss my nightly Colbert. There you go.
He is a hoot.
All right, let's get back to.
I just watch Colbert on YouTube. I just pick up the segments on delay.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, so I've actually been looking for STLs for some of the ships. Um, I found a Cerritos from Lower Decks, but it is uh, it's not great.
Now, would you just do that with Starfighter rules?
I have not done anything yet, but I will. Yeah, I would probably do Starfighter. Uh, the the very far back where they do
The big ships.
yeah fleet ships.
Yeah, I've messed around a little bit with that with some of the pocket models I've got. Um,
So yeah, that's probably what I will end up doing.
the trouble with that is I can't find two that are the same scale though.
Can't find what?
Two ships that are the same scale in that series of ships. The
Oh, yeah.
little cardboard pocket models or foam.
Yeah.
So they're technically like foam board, but
Yeah, that's the problem with box size.
yeah, which they're great. I mean, I got a slew of them, and the fighters are mostly the same scale.
Yeah,
So I use them for just like fighter combat.
there you go. What am I building? Well, tonight I'm painting Yoda, and I am painting a Ugnaught. What I'm working on right now. Um, Again, like I said, if someone is looking for a good color for Yoda, um, that plague bearer flesh contour is the way to go. Alrighty, I am damn near done with him. It's crazy talk.
Hey, when you get a second, I got paint challenge business to talk to you about too.
Yeah, go ahead.
This.
Yes.
How many points?
Um,
Maybe 1, 2. I don't know. It's not worth a whole bunch, and I didn't.
because you sprayed it black and you're dry brushing gray.
I'm brushing it black and then dry brushing it gray.
Yeah, point or two.
Okay. And so I'm guessing 3 of these would be a point. 3 or 4.
Sure. Yeah.
Cool. Easy enough.
Tim D says, and Mike is working on a fiddly part. And hey there, Reese. He gives you a wave.
Hi, Tim.
I have not forgotten about you, Tim. I will be getting stuff out to you, but as any of my previous winners will tell you, I do tend to. I don't want to say I procrastinate because I keep putting it off. But what I do, what does end up happening a lot is I have to wait for the funding to come around because like I said, I want to get that T-shirt out to you and some other stuff. So you will get something. I'm hoping to get something out to you by the end of this month. Fingers crossed. So. Plus, I want to get with McMurray because I think McMurray has got something that he wants to send out also.
He's not trapped in a rest stop somewhere in northern Missouri.
Right. Oh, son of a mackerel. All right, there we go. Okay, that's turning out better. That's turning out better. So have you been watching anything recently, Mike? TV or movie wise?
Not last week. I'm trying to remember what did we finish off 2 weeks ago, dear? She's napping.
It happened.
We watched finished The Mandalorian. I don't think we've
Good.
watched it since then.
I'm getting excited for Ahsoka.
That looks good. It looks like they're doing it
Excited for
right.
Ahsoka. What's that?
It looks like they're doing it right.
Yeah. Well, it's Dave Filoni, and
Well, that's arguable. I know it's him, but it's arguable that he always does it right.
well,
But it's a better chance
it's
he will do it right.
well. What I'll say is that it's Dave Filoni doing Dave Filoni,
Right.
because Ahsoka is. It's he did not create the character Ahsoka Tano.
Mm-hmm.
Because if I'm not mistaken, that was in the 2D micro series.
I don't think she was. I think Dave Filoni created her.
Maybe I'm mistaken.
Ventress was, and we had
Um,
the knighting ceremony, but that was it.
Wars.
The Clone Wars.
2003. We got Anakin Skywalker, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Arc Captain, Asajj Ventress, Count Dooku, Yoda, Supreme Chancellor Palpatine, Dirge, General Grievous, Stormtrooper. Not quite sure how you have a Stormtrooper, but okay. Mace Windu, C-3PO, General Grievous again. Truck. There's Barasafi, Luminaria Unduli, young Anakin Skywalker, and Oppo Rancisis.
Introduced in 2008.
Okay. So it is a Dave Filoni.
Created by George Lucas and Dave Filoni. Yep. Okay.
So yeah, it's Dave Filoni doing Dave Filoni. So Tim D says, I finished binging Babylon 5 about 4 days ago. So much fun to just binge it. That 1 week wait was a killer. Took a little bit, but still stands up well. Yeah, I like Babylon 5. Again, that's one of those that I wish I'd watched originally, but for whatever I didn't. Yeah, that is all around good stuff right there. Okay.
I just finished a series called Dark Winds. It was on AMC. It was really good.
What's it about?
It's a crime drama, 1972, on the Navajo reservation.
Okay.
So you've got some of the tribal politics as well as the FBI sticking its nose where it doesn't necessarily belong.
Right.
Started watching the first episode of that. Looked good.
It is good. And season 2 is going to be in July. It's got Zahn McClarnon in it. He's one of my favorite actors. He plays the lead. But it's got a bank robbery. It starts off with a double murder and a bank robbery, not connected. So
there you go. Toolmaker says, my favorite episode is And the Rock Cried Out, No Hiding Place. I believe that's a Bab 5. It's been a while since I've watched it. I started watching Babylon 5 when Hulu first came out. And it was 100%. I can just paint that white, and it was 100% ad based. The problem was is they never got the ads in the right place. Charles says, binged a Korean murder mystery titled Strange. Of course, the police and the prosecution do not trust each other, trying to gain and not lose any abilities to investigate crime to the other group.
Okay. Now I just gotta figure out what. Oh, okay, the miniature came off the base. So I had something fall off the table, and then I thought I saw something scurry across the floor. It was a round base rolling. And I thought it was a mouse at first. I was like, I do not want to have a mouse problem.
Squeak, squeak! I tell you, squeak.
I'm too worn out for that.
I mean, come on! All you did today was wrangle a cow.
Yeah, I chased a cow. What was it, a mile and a half? Something like
Yeah.
that. Well, is that what I said? Yeah. So. Oh. I was very thankful for the guy in the pickup truck that showed up when he did, who actually owned the cow, so that was helpful.
Yeah.
He was in no physical shape to be chasing the cow though, so he left that to us young guys.
So, okay, I've got a question for you, Mr. Reese.
Okay.
And maybe you have some insight on this because of, where you grew up and who you grew up with, et cetera, and so forth.
Okay. I'll let you finish your question before I make assumptions there.
But why is it that farmers, people in agriculture,
Mhm.
and I'm not saying this as a whole, I'm not saying that everybody is like this, but a good portion of farmers have like zero personality. Is it because they're out there on the tractor by themselves or out there with the cows by themselves and nobody else is around them, and so they don't learn, interpersonal skills?
I don't know. I've actually that's
Do
not.
you know what I'm talking about?
Actually, do not. Now, are you dealing with row crop farmers? Or are you dealing with livestock farmers?
Yes.
Okay.
And maybe it's because we're not. In my coworker, she's got the same. She's got the same. Thought process here. And she grew up here. I mean, she is from.
And it may
Pike
be
County.
it may be a regional thing too.
Well, no, because my uncle, who is a farmer,
Okay.
unless you knew him,
Double tip.
was cold and standoffish.
Oh, there you go. Unless you knew it. That might be the case. I don't know.
It's just. Tomaker says farmers are just keeping it real. You can keep it real and still,
Yeah.
have
I
a
don't know.
personality.
I don't know, and that I'm not saying you're wrong. That hasn't been my experience.
And the only thing I can think of is that, since I'm not a farmer myself and my coworker is not a farmer herself,
That could be it.
It
It could be a mistrust of outsiders, just like
but
just
then
like
we've
somebody
got other
game walking into a Warhammer store and everybody going, "What?"
but then we've got other farmers coming in and they're a pleasure to work with.
But maybe it's just interpersonal skills are lack
crust.
of. I mean,
She was working on the crust. Is it like up the rate for now? Or?
I don't know.
No, if you're hearing sirens, I have no idea what it is.
is it on your end?
Yeah,
Yeah. I didn't know if Hissy's house was burning down again, but he's not on the call, so
yeah.
It was like,
And it's I'm looking at my printer and it's not burning. So
uh,
yeah, it's really weird. And some of them are just almost downright mean. You know.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry that your experience has been that way. That's a shame, and shame on them. I'll hold no punches. Shame on them.
Yeah. It's just really weird.
Huh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's gonna be a good looking rock. So this Yoda is jumping off of a rock.
It's not a
So,
rock. That's a boulder.
It's a schooner. A schooner. It's a sailboat.
I was just quoting a trend that's going around on social media right now. Let me rephrase that. A trend that went around on social media about a year ago, probably.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Whatever. Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was quoting from Mallrats.
Yeah.
You dumb bastard. It's a sailboat, not a schooner. A schooner is a sailboat, stupid head.
Oh man.
Now, here's a movie that does not get enough press.
Okay.
Evolution. It's got David Duchovny. It's got Dan Aykroyd as a side character. It's got the actor who played Wild Bill in Silence of the Lambs. It's got is it Orlando Jones? I think is it the character.
Yeah,
Sean Michael Scott. And what's her name?
Julianne Moore.
Oh yeah. Yeah, great. If you've not seen, why were you doing that? That was weird.
Me or you?
Me, my computer dimmed. The display dims. Like, why are you dimming? It's
Mine does that after if I haven't been active in a little bit, even when we're on call.
I'd never done that before. When I'm
Did you do
When
a
I'm doing
software update recently? Oh,
No.
you're on a Mac. Never mind.
Yeah.
And that was not a condescending. You run a Mac. That was a
No. I know. Yeah, it's you were in a realization of no, I'm not on Windows.
yeah. I run both. I run both operating systems just as poorly. So
Charles says, thinking I'll open Interceptor Ace Volume 2 tonight. Hexy says, no airplanes, Chuck. Without airplanes, you wouldn't have A-10s. And Charles says, yes, airplanes, yes, naval, no ACW. Hey. No fighting. There's no fighting in the war room. Yeah. Now everybody. I hope everybody is sitting down for this, and nobody go clutching their pearls. But Hexy punched and clipped Armada from SPI today. I know, right?
good for him.
Tim wanted to know what year the game was. He said 1978. Charles says, and besides JETS, Jets. check the power saving settings. I set mine to leave it alone. Yeah, mine's the same way. I don't. It was just really weird. Well, no, mine actually is after a certain time it will put itself to sleep. Um, I don't know.
Jeff, make sure you have the errata for Armada.
Errata is not allowed.
The game is like supposed to be practically unplayable in the original release version.
Errata is not allowed.
I'd just like to watch the video of Hexy trying to play an unplayable game.
Right. Well, so here he is. He's not 100% complete, but I need to work on. I do need to work up on his lightsaber a little more. It's a little dark on the underside.
So that's like the Yoda, like fighting Dooku type,
Yeah.
like strength. Cool.
Yeah. Not the 900 years UB. Not as good. You will look.
Yeah.
Hexy says you might see that here shortly. Gettysburg 77.
Probably an unplayable game.
Yeah. Charles Latour says Hex will have the crews run the ships on the beach and have a land battle. Yeah, probably so. Just ram those suckers right up on shore and just start poking each other with 8-inch shells. That's one thing that I don't think really people realize how big the shells were fired from naval ships. A small gun on a naval ship in World War II is a 5-inch gun.
That's a big shell.
Yeah, that's what 5 inches is how many millimeters?
Well, if a 3-inch gun is a 7.62 or a 76.2 millimeter, that's going to be what, a 10. It's called a 105
millimeter. So a 5-inch gun is 127 millimeter.
7. Okay.
6-inch gun is a 152. So analogous to a 155. An 8-inch gun is a 203. The Arkansas had 12-inch guns, looking at 304 millimeter, almost 305 millimeter. The Texas with her 14s was 355, and the Missouris, the Iowas, and whatnot, a 406 millimeter round.
Shells as big as steers and guns as big as trees.
Yeah, and so the big the big guns in the Army, for at least for the United States Army, are 8-inch howitzers. Those are the big guns. That's just a medium gun for the Navy. It's crazy talk, but oh well, right? Yeah. Oh, and of course the 18-inch guns on the Yamato and Musashi, and they're actually 18.1s, or 459 millimeter.
Why not 460 millimeter?
Who the hell knows? Let's see what 460 is actually. They probably were 460, and we call them 18.1s because it's 18.1102. So they were probably 460s.
That's a tank of a round, though.
Oh yeah, you're flinging something out there that's.
Can you imagine the bombardment from that? If they'd used it to bombard an island, that would have been with some firepower. Is it the inverse square rule or something like that as far as how big it gets? Or about the volume per circumference, or I don't know, but it's yeah. It
All right. Good. I'm going to set you down, and I'm going to pick up this knot and see what he's talking to me about. Okay. Where is my lever?
I am breaking the table of equipment for these Canadians / British.
Oh,
And
how do you break it?
I am giving them 2 Bren guns in the section instead of 1.
You know what? I will almost guarantee you they begged, borrowed, and stole to do that anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure they did because we did it with BARs. But the British section was so weird because the section was based around the Bren gun so much. Like every man had a role to do involving that gun. They relied on that gun as far as how they were trained, at least. Now in actual combat, I don't know.
So very much like the Germans with the MG34s and MG42s.
Exactly, right. So the Americans relied on a base of firepower from their rifles, where the Brits and the Germans relied on feeding that squad automatic weapon.
Yeah.
So,
Because everybody carried bullets for those machine guns.
yes.
Everybody.
So the Brits, a British rifleman carried extra Bren mags. I believe. No, they may not carry extra Bren mags. The number 2 on the gun carried extra magazines, but then the rifleman carried 1 bandolier of ammo for themselves and 1 band of ammo to reload empty Bren magazines with in combat.
Yeah.
So I watched a video on some guys testing that theory about how that would actually work, and it actually worked better than I thought it would. So,
Well, the Bren was it a 20 round magazine?
I believe it
Or
was
30,
but they only loaded them to 20. They only loaded them to 28. They were 38. No, they were 30 round magazines, but the way the spring tension and the jams were, they only loaded them to like 20, 29 or 28. So
like the M16 30 round magazine.
yeah, exactly. The old ones. I wouldn't say the new ones, but the old ones for sure.
Oh yeah, old, like from 1989.
The aluminum ones. Yeah, I know.
Because
modern polymers come a long way.
we only we could only put in 27.
Gotcha. Did you ever use any of the 20 rounds? The 20 round magazines?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Were those just daisies or?
We just loaded those to 18.
Okay, same deal then.
Yeah.
So
because all of the magazines were stamped aluminum.
Yeah.
And not only were they stamped aluminum, they were stamped from Coke can aluminum. That shit was thin. You looked at it wrong and it would bend.
Oh, I love polymer magazines. You can just good polymer magazine you can depend on.
Now, see, this is what really bugs me. So, my company was Alpha. We were Alpha Company.
Mm-hmm.
So we were the first barracks building on, in the battalion area, right?
Right.
And we were the only company that still had the M1 steel pots. We were the only company that still had M16A1s. And we were the only company that still had the pressed or the stamped
magazines.
Stamped magazines. Everybody else in the battalion had Kevlar and A2s and fiberglass magazines.
Yeah. Now, if I remember right, you had the A1 with the A2 furniture, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So mine looked like an A2
Until you
But
looked at the hand, until you looked at the rail, where the
Yeah.
hand.
I was like, son of a
Yeah.
bitch. Hello, Mr. Cat.
Hey, boss. I didn't realize you had started. I was building a little KV2.
Oh, okay.
And
Is
then
that
I
the
lost-
one you did an unboxing on?
Yeah, I just yeah. But I lost a little bitty small part, and I got frustrated. So I thought I'm going to back off, let this try, and then I'll come back at it later. But
No
it's
worries,
just
man.
an easy kit. But yeah.
Welcome
Oh,
aboard.
Hey,
we got
Reese, how are you?
Reese with us, and we got Mike with us, and we got Mike
that's
with
not
us.
an approved headwear, Michael. I'm
Yeah, it
sorry.
is. Yeah, no, absolutely. Tim D says, "Hi there, Hissy."
Hey, Tim. How are you, boss?
So, while you were away, I cranked out Yoda.
Oh, dude, that looks cool. Oh, I really like the base. You did a really good job on that.
Well, it was plastic. It was part of the model, so all I
Yeah,
did
but
was
I meant
paint
the
it white.
painting.
Oh, yeah, that's all white. It's not even dry brush white. It is just painted white with Space Wolves gray.
Okay.
So
Hi, Charles. How you doing, my friend? Yeah, let me get
And,
my paint stuff out, dude. We crushed it yesterday. That was really fun.
yeah. So
That's right.
something that we're probably gonna keep going forward on is on Friday nights. I'm not gonna do a show, but we will be on Discord on the NotJay Discord voice channel. So if anybody wants to, drop in and just BS while we're painting, by all means.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So
BTS. behind
What?
the scenes. BTS behind the scenes.
I thought that was another one of your K-pop groups.
It might be. Hey, I love my K-pop, dude. They are so on point with their dance moves. They were amazing.
I would have been on last night, but I was on a double date, so
Well, that's fine. That's all good.
Very cool.
got to meet a good friend's pigs and lambs. So
Are you first name basis now?
yeah, we had Frank.
I didn't know.
no,
I didn't
Fred
know
and
you were Welsh.
What?
Fred
Oh
and-
no Welsh. I don't remember the pigs' names, but the pigs are sweet.
If they're not Babe or Arnold Ziffel, they're the wrong pigs.
Yeah, we had a Wilbur at one point. We had a Curly and a Mo, and we had a Wonky.
Wait. These were pigs, right? Curly and Mo.
Yep.
Did one of them go around saying oink 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 oink?
Yep. Curly had no tail, so of course Curly.
Kind of fits. Curly didn't have hair, so
Exactly. Nobody else got the joke except me and the professor, but that was fine by me. That was usually how that class went.
Okay, let me go get some paint stuff. I found some paints today, which is kind of cool.
What? They're at the house.
Well, I've got boxes with miniatures and stuff packed away in the garage, and I was going through the garage trying to find some of the Flames of War stuff just to make sure I got everything. Because once I send it off to Hex, I don't want to look down and go, "Oh my God, I still got another box of Russians or something." I want to do it all in one shot. And I found some paints, and I don't care for the GW pots, and half of them are all GW pots. I'm like, dope. These are the ones that made me hate these things.
All right, Telemachus, here you go. There's the Discord link. Tim says better than BTK. Hexy Reese. I was two Reese. I had two pillows.
BTK.
Hissy. Charles says Hissy, an actual Korean rock band, all female, walking after you.
Okay. Now I don't know about Korean rock, but K-pop, Big Bang is one of my bands that I like. Of course, they all have to serve military duty, and so most of these bands, when they hit that match, I think it's 21, whatever it is, they go off into the military, and it's a big deal over there. But
So, Hissy, back to what you were saying about those pots. Army Painter makes these little dropper shaker bottles.
Oh, cool.
They're way too expensive for what they are. I'm sure you can figure something out at Hobby Lobby or any of your craft stores or something
Yeah.
else. You transfer those to these, you're good to go.
Good idea. I got to see if the paint's still. In fact, let me go grab it. I'll be back, guys. Give me just
No worries.
a few minutes.
So, I got to be honest with you, Chris. I'm not sure how long I'm going to be on tonight.
That's fine.
So,
I mean, you chased down a cow.
yeah, I did.
So it's all good.
I feel like Mike might need some context for that. Is he just sitting and painting away? Both of the mics, but
when you live out in the sticks,
yeah.
and all of Arkansas is the sticks by definition,
Except for Central Little Rock, that's just a whole other country. But
there is the possibility of seeing a random cow out from behind a fence.
Yep.
And it is considered it's considered bad form to not do your damnedest to help wrangle that cow.
Frankly, it's a civil duty just as much as the volunteer firefighters.
Yeah.
So one of my buddies is a firefighter, not volunteer, he's paid. But they're a small department and they have to collect fire dues. And he's one of the guys that has to go collect dues. And he was complaining about the people that are so entitled that they don't pay their fire dues.
Charles wants to know if you hogtied.
I did not. My wife was in the car headed back to the house to get the rope, but we got it back through the fence before the rope was necessary. So,
there you go.
Thank goodness, because he had me by about 200, 300 pounds, and I was looking for a good place to tie off on, and I was failing to find one. So,
right.
As I said earlier, I would have given just about anything for a good cow dog or a good horse in the moment, but did not have it. I had my own 2 feet and a pair of boots that I did not need to be running in, let alone sprinting on asphalt. So,
were they your good boots?
Okay, so I have some of these.
They're not. The insoles are worn out and the heels are all slicked down.
Golden acrylics.
Okay.
These are actually pretty good paints, and they're a little cheaper than most of the hobby stuff. Red ox. So I found some of the basic colors. So I got those. And then I have this box. I got oils too. I just haven't broke the oils out. And so, yeah, I've got just a variety of some pots and some old Master Series Reaper paint, actually. Some of this stuff might actually be dry. I mean, that looks dry on the inside. So we'll see what I can salvage out of this box.
Oh, shh. Fire safety matches.
Where's what I was working on last night? Okay.
And I completely grabbed the wrong arms for this guy.
Oh, what happened?
They're already glued on. Doesn't matter anymore.
It happens. Um, all right. All right. All right. All right. Um, that's another fun movie. Dazed and Confused.
Never seen it.
Uh, it
There's a bunch of movies I haven't seen though, so that's not saying much.
it was filmed in Austin, and a lot of I've been to many of the places that are in the film.
Okay.
Like the Top Notch is it's the drive-in burger joint.
Yeah.
Been there. They got good greasy burgers. You know it's the type that it's the type of burger you think of when you think of a diner. You know, a real diner. You know, where you bite into it and just with the juice and it's so good. Let's see. Tim Z says 5 out of 6 GW pots, and the little pots are still good. The ones I have are from 95. Yeah, if you put the caps down on them good and tight, the older ones will last.
Well, we'll do a quick test here. I'm just grabbing a handful of old minis that I've been pulling out of the garage to half painted.
And Charles says, "Yep, nothing like a full size bull to put the fear of the Almighty in you."
Absolutely. The only thing you can do there is try to stay just behind his shoulder and run him in circles.
Yeah.
That's about all you can do. No, this guy was a little, maybe 4 months old, 5 months maybe.
Oh, okay.
He probably weighed 400, 500 pounds, but
You think gouges would work? Oh, sorry, dude. I mean,
oh, you're good.
It's all about me. I got a bunch of gouges I had bought, which are kind of like water colors, but not. I wonder if they would work on minis.
Gouache?
Gouache.
That's
Gouache.
How do you say it?
Eve, it's gouache.
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 My sister went to the art institute, so she
Oh, there you go.
knows those things.
Yeah. Does she smack you in the head when you get stuff wrong when you're painting?
No.
That's why he's wearing the hat.
Right.
I don't know if they would work on minis. That's maybe another night's experience.
Hey, Chris, you said something about Austin, and it rang a bell in my head. One project I'm probably going to be working on in the next few months, just whenever I have time, statting up for Fistful of Lead various Towns Van Zandt characters,
Oh, there you go.
like Mr. Mud, Mr. Gold, Poncho
Yeah.
and Lefty. If I get a miniature for her, I'll do Gypsy Sally. I mean, it just. I've been thinking about just messing around with that for Fistful of Lead Reloaded 2.0.
That's cool. Probably in the next week or two, I'm going to get these primed up.
Okay.
Is that your Blade
So I
Runner
can-
stuff?
What's that?
Is that your Blade Runner stuff?
No,
What is?
Firefly.
Okay, I couldn't tell if that was Decker or what that was.
No,
Sorry.
it's Mal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's a board game, and I've got all of Serenity crew except for Book and Inara. And I need to get them, but each of them have two stances. So, like, here is Zoe.
Okay, so is it kind of a passive stance and a combat stance, or?
Right, exactly. So
Okay.
it means something in the game.
Now, knowing you're not going to play by those rules, though. You may play.
No,
You're going to play
it's
Fistful
gonna
of
be
Lead.
Fistful of Lead, because I got the bad guys also.
gonna look good. It's gonna look
You got 5 guys with guns. and
Oh, five guys with a big bag of fries would be good right about now.
What's that?
5 guys? Now I want a hamburger.
Well, there you go. I got 5 guys with guns and 5 guys with either clubs or swords.
Sounds like a couple of gangs ready to hit each other.
Yep. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah. Let's see. Every once in a bit they get used, which seems to keep them running. The metal bit's color turned into a hunk of pigment. Yeah, that happens. Charles, seeing the headlight of a Peterbilt in your driver's side window has that effect also? Yes, it does.
Now try fighting a bull on the interstate or on the highway with a Peterbilt coming down the road.
Yeah, that's bad juju all the way around. Charles is dirt biking. Friend did a turn, blew by me. Looked up trail, bull, big bull. Yes, ringing nose. My bike died. He took a sniff of me and stared at me and kept walking past me. Lord, I'm saved.
Hey, at least he had a motorbike. I would not physically run into him when I would mountain bike a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, having said that, I almost T-boned a deer one night. I was coming down this hill on this single track, and there's a sand wash at the bottom, so you kind of got to carry your speed through it, so you just learn to just not brake. So it's fun as hell. I mean, you shoot through the bushes at really high speed, which is when I was young and crazy. And so one night I'm coming down, the sun's coming down, and this little whitetail jumps out in front of me.
Did you run through the briars and run through the brambles?
And then boom, it jumps out.
He went through the bushes where a rabbit couldn't go.
No. I was bracing to hit it because I'm smart enough not to go veer off and hit a tree. Trees don't move, deers will.
He biked so fast.
The hounds couldn't catch him.
Yep.
From the Mississippi to the Gulf of Mexico.
There you go.
Hey, I know that song. I ran through the briars and they ran through the brambles and they ran through the bushes where a rabbit couldn't go.
The words were written by a guy from Arkansas.
Yeah, I just slaughtered him.
By the name of Jimmy Driftwood.
What a name, Driftwood.
Well, I don't know if that was actually his last name or not.
Probably not. That sounds like
he was a school teacher originally, and would make up words to old fiddle tunes to teach his kids history.
Oh, wow!
So he took the song 8th of January, which was about the Battle of New Orleans, already, which is a fiddle tune about that, and put words to it. And there's 15, 16 verses to it. So not all of them historically accurate, put cannonballs in an alligator and blowing it up, but still great song.
Okay, so let's see what we can do with this guy. He's been sitting with this level of finish for probably 15 years. Maybe tonight we get him finished. Okay, that's going to be my project.
Cool.
Oh, so Tim wanted to know about this paint. I hear it shake. Let's see if the green opens.
Hexy, were you talking about that song?
All right. I've
Okay,
got
that
it
was
done
hard to
knot.
open, but it looks like the green is still liquid. Okay, that's a start.
Oh, yeah. I just have a bunch of useless information up in my head that occasionally comes out and actually does something right. So.
That sounds
All
liquid.
right. So, second miniature done for the night.
Nice.
Got a nug knot done.
I don't have them based yet, but I've got some of them based.
Nice Nick Nolte there.
Yeah. This is the way I have spoken.
Okay, that's a little chunky,
That's what she said.
but it's savable. Okay, so far 3 for 3. So Tim was pretty right about this. Let's see. Okay.
Oh.
Chunky but savable. That's a combo.
There's a lot of liquid in it, and it's kind of like it's oatmeal lumpy.
Okay.
So it probably just needs a little more water, a little more shake to just dissolve it all back into.
Little shake, rattle, and roll.
Shake, 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 Sonora. Shake the body light. Shake, 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 Sonora.
You know, there's probably a reason we only get together about once a year.
Yeah, because the public couldn't handle us.
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, this still has a price tag on it. What does a pot of Citadel paint go for these days?
$8, $9, isn't it?
It depends. The regular sized ones, I think, are like 5. Contrast are 8.
Okay, this is $5.75.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair price.
Now I don't know how old that is. Probably, I'm going to guess 5 to 7 years old.
It's like the day that we pulled out a box of 30-30 ammo from my pa's basement that had a price tag of $3.75 on it.
Yeah, now that's per round.
Yeah, roughly it's. Oh.
No, I don't want that.
I think you're right, Tim. I'll just put a little water in these and maybe try to rebottle them or just deal with it. We'll see.
I'm missing a couple arms. I don't know where they are. Got way too many screws and way too many loose parts on this desk.
Okay, well, this one didn't. I don't hear anything in here. No, that's still.
So, has he got any games in lately, or are you just building minis, or what's the plan?
Yeah, I've got it sitting right here. I've been reading the rules.
Oh,
This is one of the guys who actually did a game in the Game Jam.
cool.
It's the King Kong one where he put an ID Jester and he put a plane for myself and some of the other content creators. But this is a solo game, and it looks like it's more of like some of the pages I need to cut out. But I'm going to go down to the printer because I'm going to make these into counters.
Yeah.
I want to keep my book good. So I'm reading this. We'll get this on the channel in the next few days, or hopefully. So, but that's the only gaming I've been doing. It's mostly thanks to you guys. I'm head over heels with the printing and painting.
Yep.
I believe it or not, I am an influencer.
Yeah,
300 something people too.
We are.
I'm missing somebody here.
We're gonna do a Who Am I?
Okay.
We're gonna start off with He is a He. Reese.
Military service? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, you want in on this?
Military service.
I'm sort of half in a conversation on the creation of some pizza here, so I should probably pay attention.
Oh,
to
yeah.
Pizza first.
Pizza first. You can
Okay,
come
so
back to-
military.
He is in military service. Or was in the military service.
20th century.
Yes.
Okay.
Hex to Hex, no, it is not Bob. Reese, do you want another jab before I give you the next hint?
Officer or enlisted?
Enlisted. No, not the most decorated soldier ever.
American or foreign?
American. Very, very much American.
Okay.
I want to say Ronald Reagan.
No.
Oh,
I don't know.
Was Reagan ever in the service?
He was in the service during World War II in the Signal Corps making training films.
Okay. That's
that
right.
counts.
He narrated all the videos that trained pilots on how to reach certain targets over Japan, I think.
Okay.
So
Okay, so
Get
20th
your
century. Did he fight in combat in World War One?
no.
Ah,
All right, you're ready. You want the next one?
yes.
He retired. Uh, he retired as a master sergeant.
Okay.
No, that doesn't help me at all.
Vietnam era?
Yes.
Oh, I think I've got it.
Go for it.
Sergeant Major Plumley?
No.
Okay, I know nobody.
Okay. We'll keep
Well, okay, no.
keep asking.
Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone.
No.
Okay, that's my one shot.
Yeah. Reese.
Did he retire before 1970?
No.
Okay.
No. He's not known for being a sniper, Hex.
He's not known for it. That doesn't mean he didn't do it.
I have nothing that says he did do it, but I also
Okay, fair enough.
he could have.
I know this.
Fair enough.
Did he retire before 1990?
Yes.
Okay.
You got a 20-year window.
So he retired between 70 and 90.
Okay, here's your next clue. He passed away in 1998. Tolaikas, no, he's not Army. Hex to Hex, no. Or yes, he is Army. Very much Army.
98. I should know this, but I'm not going to.
Oh, I'm just gonna try to good question.
Was his father military?
I think we pulled Hexy into it. Who is this? Oh, nope. Someone left. They popped in and popped right back out. No.
Okay.
Did they have a career after the military that was in the public? That was public that was well known, like whether it's an author or an actor.
Let's see. I think Hexy might know. Yes, he was Special Forces Green Beret. He was a speaker and an author, but they were just autobiographical books.
Okay.
Hexy's going to know it, I'm sure.
So he wasn't on.
Yes, Hexy. Yes, you are correct.
Yep. Okay. I should have known that.
Roy Benavides.
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of him.
Okay, so this gentleman, and I use that term in the absolute highest meaning it is meant to be. Raul Perez Benavides was born in 1935, passed away in 1998. United States Master Sergeant, awarded the Medal of Honor for various actions in combat near Loc Ninh, South Vietnam on May 2nd, serving as a member of U.S. Army Special Forces. You got to meet him. That is really cool. He was his dad was a Mexican farmer, and his mom was a Mexican farmer's wife. Born and grew up in Cuero, Texas, southeast of San Antonio, and is a descendant of the founders of Benavides, Texas.
Oh, wow.
he some of his jobs as a kid is he shined shoes at local bus stations and labored on farms in California and Washington, worked at a tire shop in El Campo, Texas. He dropped out of school at 15 to work full-time to help support his family. And then he enlisted in the Texas National Guard in 1952 during the Korean War. In June of 55, he switched from National Guard to active duty, and in 59, got married, completed airborne training, and was assigned the 82nd Airborne. Then he went to his Green Beret School and became a member of the 5th Special Forces Group and had studies in was with the Studies and Observation Group, the SOG.
Acme SOG.
Yeah. I want to see if I can.
Was he on he was on a recon team, wasn't he?
Yeah. So here's a citation from Ronald Reagan. For conspicuous gallantry and intrepidity in action at the risk of his life above and beyond the call of duty, on 2 May 1968, Master Sergeant, then Staff Sergeant Roy B. Benavides distinguished himself by a series of daring and extremely valorous actions while assigned to Detachment Bravo 56, 5th Special Forces Group Airborne, 1st Special Forces, Republic of Vietnam. On the morning of 2 May 1968, a 12-man Special Forces recon team was inserted by helicopters of the 240th Assault Helicopter Company in a dense jungle area west of Loc Ninh, Vietnam, to gather intelligence information about confirmed large-scale enemy activity. This area was controlled and routinely patrolled by the North Vietnamese Army. After a short period of time on the ground, the team met heavy enemy resistance and requested emergency extraction. 3 helicopters attempted extraction but were unable to land due to intense enemy small arms and anti-aircraft fire. Sergeant Benavides was at the forward operating base at Loc Ninh, monitoring the operation by radio when these helicopters of the 240th Assault Helicopter Company returned to offload wounded crew members and to assess aircraft damage. Sergeant Benavides voluntarily boarded a returning aircraft to assist in another extraction attempt. Realizing that all the team members were either dead or wounded and unable to move to the pickup zone, he directed the aircraft to a nearby clearing where he jumped from the hovering helicopter and ran approximately 75 meters under withering small arms fire to the crippled team.
Wow.
Prior to reaching the team's position, he was wounded in his right leg, face, and head. Was not aware that the face and head were 2 different things. But okay.
May I butt in?
Yeah, go ahead.
What they failed to mention is he has nothing but a knife and body bags.
Oh, wait.
Okay.
I still got.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But when he jumps out of the helicopter, he's not holding a weapon.
Yeah. Despite these painful injuries, he took charge, repositioning the team members and directing the fire to facilitate the landing of an extraction aircraft and the loading of wounded and dead team members. He then threw smoke canisters to direct the aircraft to the team's position. Despite his severe wounds and under intense enemy fire, he carried and dragged half of the wounded team members to the waiting aircraft. He then provided protective fire by running alongside the aircraft as it moved to pick up the remaining team members.
Wow.
As the enemy's fire intensified, he hurried to recover the body and classified documents on the team leader. What are you tearing up in there, Reese?
I just dropped all of my resin roads.
There you go. When he reached the leader's body, Sergeant Benavides was severely wounded by small arms fire in the abdomen and grenade fragments in the back. At nearly the same moment, the aircraft pilot was mortally wounded and his helicopter crashed. Although in extremely critical condition due to his multiple wounds, Sergeant Benavides secured the classified documents and made his way back to the wreckage, where he aided the wounded out of the overturned aircraft and gathered the stunned survivors into a defensive perimeter. Under increasing enemy automatic weapons and grenade fire, he moved around the perimeter, distributing water and ammunition to his weary men, reinstilling in them a will to live and fight. Facing a buildup of enemy opposition with a beleaguered team, Sergeant Benavides mustered his strength, began calling in tactical airstrikes, and directed the fire from supporting gunships to suppress the enemy's fire and so permit another extraction attempt. He was wounded again in the thigh by small arms fire while administering first aid to a wounded team member just before another extraction helicopter was able to land. His indomitable spirit kept him going as he began to ferry his comrades to the craft. On his second trip with the wounded, he was clubbed from behind by an enemy soldier. You can't make this shit up.
No.
In the ensuing hand-to-hand combat, he sustained additional wounds to his head and arms before killing his adversary. He then continued under devastating fire to carry the wounded to the helicopter. Upon reaching the aircraft, he spotted and killed 2 enemy soldiers who were rushing the craft from an angle that prevented the aircraft door gunner from firing upon them. With little strength remaining, he made one last trip to the perimeter to ensure that all classified material had been collected or destroyed and to bring in the remaining wounded. Only then, in extreme serious condition from numerous wounds and loss of blood, did he allow himself to be pulled onto the extraction aircraft. Sergeant Benavides' gallant choice to join voluntarily his comrades who were in critical straits to expose himself constantly to withering enemy fire, and his refusal to be stopped despite numerous severe wounds, saved the lives of at least 8 men. His fearless personal leadership, tenacious devotion to duty, and extremely valorous actions in the face of overwhelming odds were in keeping with the highest traditions of the military service and reflect the utmost credit on him and the United States Army.
Wow.
Yeah, dude was a tank.
Literally.
Yeah. My brother says Roy B. P. Benavides was a bona fide BAMF. Yes, absolutely. And although I'm glad Fort Hood was named after the first Hispanic soldier to become a 4-star general, with General Cavazos having the base being named after General Cavazos, I would have not had a problem with them naming Fort Hood Fort Benavides.
Yeah.
I thought they were naming something after him, weren't they?
They were going to name, I think they were going to name Bragg Benavides.
That would have been a fitting tribute.
Because he was 82nd Airborne, but apparently there was the 82nd Airborne wanted one name, and I guess somebody else wanted a different name, and they ended up calling it Fort Liberty.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, Fort Lee got renamed to have 2 different names. But yeah, yeah. Roy Benavides was a bad SOB. He is buried at the Fort Sam Houston National Cemetery in San Antonio.
Yeah, anybody that goes on one of those recovery missions, starting out, now I know he picked up other weapons, but starting out with a knife and body bags,
yeah,
dude's built different.
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. He received the Medal of Honor, Purple Heart 5 times, Defense Meritorious Service Medal, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Commendation Medal, and the Texas Legislative Medal of Honor.
So how does the Purple Heart work in this sense, in this regard? So you get in his case, he was wounded multiple times in that one action. Is that one Purple Heart, or can that get multiple Purple Hearts?
I'm going to be honest. I don't know. Well, let's see. Purple Heart has been awarded in the name of the president to those wounded or killed while serving on or after 5 April 1917 with U.S. military, with its forerunner, the Badge of Military Merit, which took form of a heart-shaped medal, blah, blah, blah. Okay.
Because if he only got one that day, that means he had 4 other days where he got.
Well, the fact that he was with SOG makes me think that those were 4 other days he took fire.
It's a good possibility. It's a good possibility.
Those guys had over, I think it was over 100% casualties as far as wounds and kills.
Yeah.
Yeah, that just, not that what you already said about him didn't make him badass, but
Okay.
he got 4 or he got 5 Purple Hearts on 5 separate occasions.
Okay. Purple Heart is awarded in the name of the President of the United States. Any member, we already covered that. Walter covered that. Specific examples of services which warrant the Purple Heart. Any action against an enemy of the United States. Any action. Oh, it's just talking about actions. Okay.
I bet he only got 1 from that, though. I don't think they just give you. I don't think they pin 5 Purple Hearts on you for 1.
It sounded like he was injured more than 5 times in that description.
Because when
okay.
Chester, not Chester, when Chesty Puller's son got wounded, he got hit multiple times, and they gave him 1 Purple Heart.
Okay.
So.
Okay, Purple Heart. A wound is defined as an injury to any part of the body from an outside force or agent sustained under one or more of the conditions listed above. Basically, when you're in basically a fight, either with the United States military or serving with friendly forces, et cetera, and so forth. A physical lesion is not required. However, the wound for which the award is made must have required treatment by a medical officer, and records of medical treatment for wounds or injuries received in action must have been made a matter of official record. When contemplating an award of this decoration, the key issue that commanders must take into consideration is the degree to which the enemy caused the injury. The fact that the proposed recipient was participating in direct or indirect combat operations is a necessary prerequisite that is not sole justification for the award. The award is not, the Purple Heart is not awarded for non-combat injuries.
So basically, you can't be running from the enemy, trip over your own boot, give yourself a concussion to get the Purple Heart.
I don't get a Purple Heart for injuring my back during basic training.
Well, when they were talking about the enemy must cause.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if they had thrown a grenade, which caused you, and it blew up, and it caused you to trip and break your ankle,
right,
then yes, that counts. But if you tripped over your snakes, no.
Or if you jumped out of the helicopter and forgot to attach your fast rope, and yeah.
Ugh. Yeah.
So it sounds like he had 5 separate incidences where he was injured.
I would say, I would have to say yes.
Yeah, I'll go with that too.
So I will. Here are some individuals that have received the Purple Heart. The one that jumped out at me as I was looking down, the one that jumped out at me first. Where'd he go? I just saw him. Rocky Blyer from Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Charles Bronson.
Yeah.
That
one doesn't surprise me at all.
Not that we would know him one way or the other, but David Christian, 7.
Is that most?
I don't know if it's most, but 7. Let's take a look at David A. Christian.
Now, do they give you 7 individual medals, or do they have like leaves? And
So
things like that
you will receive an award. You'll receive 7 Purple Hearts, but in most instances, what you'll wear on a regular uniform, you'll just wear the Purple Heart device on your salad board with devices.
Okay.
Like oak leaves and whatnot.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not a palm leaf. I'm trying to remember what it is, what the extension of it is.
Let's see. I believe it is I think it's a star.
Okay.
Additional awards of the Purple Heart are donated by Oak Leaf Clusters of the Army, Air Force, and Space Force. Additional awards for the Navy are the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard are 5 and 16th inch stars.
Okay.
So
I forgot about the Space Force.
Most people do.
It's relatively new, isn't it? I mean,
yeah,
even
like
something Trump did.
like
All those combat actions on the moon, you know.
yeah.
Yeah, we don't talk about those.
Hey, with all of these UFO sightings, there could be, Mike. We also don't know about it.
One of my Civil Air Patrol cadets is an officer in the Space Force now.
Now, are they truly a separate branch now, or
Yes.
are they just okay?
No, they are a separate branch. Like
Like the Coast Guard, or
no, I think they're more like the Marine Corps.
so they're still in the Department of the Air Force, but they're just an extension of. But they're a separate.
Hold on, Space Force. That's Space Force.
Because if there's now a Department of the Space Force, that would be cool.
Well, I saw a thumbnail for a YouTube video where a painter says, "I painted a space marine for an actual space marine."
That's funny.
Okay, so it is part of the Department of the Air Force.
Okay. Just like the Navy's the Department of the Navy. I mean, not the
the Marines are a part of the Department of the Navy. Yeah.
You know what I meant.
Yes. It is one of the 3 civilian-led military departments within the Department of Defense. It is overseen by the Secretary of the Air Force, who reports to the Secretary of Defense.
You said one of the 3 civilian leads?
Yeah.
So what's the other 2? Coast Guard and
Well, see, Coast Guard isn't military.
they're not?
It originally was Treasury, and then I think they now fall under Homeland Defense.
Okay. I didn't realize they weren't considered military anymore.
Yeah. Let's see.
Those Coast Guard helicopter pilots are where it's at, though.
There's some crazy bastards.
Oh, yeah.
We would go before COVID. We'd go do game nights, just at a restaurant or whatever, and play board games. And I met a Navy, and I don't know what her actual title was, but she was a rescue diver or swimmer, right? She'd jump out of helicopters and swim over and save people. And she was all of 5'1". I thought,
well, everybody's the same height when you're in the water.
Good point. There's buoyancy, but she was so unassuming. You wouldn't think that that's what she did for a living. You can never judge a book by the cover. Yeah, I was like,
so you're
and it wasn't that she was female that put me off. It was that she was
The
like
size.
5'1", and I was like, wow. I just envisioned somebody a little bit bigger than that. But
yeah.
to your point, well, I guess when you're in the water, it's a little easier, but still.
So under the Department of Defense, you've got Department of the Army, Department of the Navy, and Department of the Air Force.
Oh, so Charles, remember I made that comment about not using black to prime? Well, I'm back to using black because I want to do the slap chop method where you do the black prime, throw on some gray, and then throw on some white. So the gray to white, the gray I was using was a little light and I wasn't getting enough contrast. So I decided to just go on back to black. So back in black.
Boom, boom, boom.
Okay, so the most Purple Heart awarded is 10. And there have been 3 individuals that have received 10.
Is he one of those fatal, or did they all 3 of them survive all 10 encounters?
Well,
let's go through them.
Don't know. Charles D. Barger from World War I, William G. Bill White, World War II 9 and Korean War 1, and Curry T. Haynes 10 in the Vietnam War.
I just want to know about the guy in World War I that got hit 10 times.
Well, let's take a look at Charles D. Barger. So he survived World War I. He died in 1936.
Okay.
He also earned the Medal of Honor for his actions in World War I while serving as a Chauchat automatic rifle gunner during the Meuse-Argonne offensive. Oh. Wow. He and another soldier, Jesse N. Funk, entered no man's land despite heavy fire and rescued 2 wounded officers and 1 enlisted man. Oh, hell. He's a Missouri boy.
Where?
Mount Vernon. He was born in Mount Vernon and is buried in Oak Grove, just east of Kansas City.
Yep. Was he the one that crawled in the abandoned tank and set up basically a machine gun nest in there?
That I don't know.
Okay.
That doesn't seem likely in World War One.
So it was a Renault FT-17 that had been hit in no man's land.
Okay, and I didn't realize that those machine guns were that portable. That's why I was questioning.
Well, it was an machine gun. Rifle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
There, I've got one here actually. So
he was with the.
Oh, I thought you were going to pull out a real weapon.
Oh no, that would have been cool, but no.
Well, I wouldn't put it past you, Reese. You got some cool stuff.
He was with the 354th Infantry Regiment of the 89th Division during World War I.
Okay.
Yeah.
I listened to a podcast about a Medal of Honor action in World War I, where a guy was in an observation post ahead of the lines and saw an attack coming and held it off.
Wow.
But I didn't know if that was the same guy or not. But no, the show shot or whatever you want to call it, I refuse to own one of those things. Ugh.
Not a good weapon. Well,
the French pattern wasn't bad, but when they took it from 8mm, whatever the French cartridge was, to 30-06, they messed up a couple of the dimensions just by a couple of millimeters. And so in 30-06, they were big, like jam heavy guns. So it was only the 30-06 pattern ones that were bad. The 8mm ones weren't too terrible.
All right. So was that the Chauchat Rebel Royals 1918 submachine gun?
No, it's a big long sucker with the 8mm one's got a half moon magazine.
Yeah.
And then the 30-06 version has a what looks like a giant BAR mag on the bottom of it.
Huh.
So, you want me to send you a picture of it in the Discord?
Interesting. So I guess the submachine gun was an 8. Here we go. The Ribley's 1918 automatic carbine. No, that's not it either.
So I'm sending.
That weapon is actually still in service.
Huh. I am sending you a picture of the 30-06 version, and then I'll send you a picture of the French version after.
Oh, okay.
And then you'll recognize the French version.
Okay. Yeah.
So, as I said, it's got that very distinctive half moon magazine. At least in the French service did. I think it was a 1915 pattern model. It was actually a weapon ahead of its time. It just, I don't know, failed concept. The recoil basically going straight back into your shoulder helps, but I mean, Q M16 AR-15.
So this is something that's interesting. So there's 3 10 Purple Heart recipients, all United States Army. 1 9 Purple Heart. 1 9 Purple Heart Marine Corps. And then 5 8 Purple Heart, all U.S. Army.
What conflict was the eight Purple Hearts in the Marine Corps? I feel like that would be Vietnam.
The 9, the Albert L. Ireland received 9 Purple Hearts while a member of the United States Marine Corps. 5 in World War II, 4 in the Korean War.
Okay, that makes sense then.
But what that kind of tells me is people say, well, obviously the Army is out there more than the Marines. Yes and no, but
the Marines got their cycle back system too, don't they? After 3,
I'm thinking probably that with the Marine Corps, your life expectancy isn't that as great as U.S. Army.
True.
Because I would hazard to say,
well, in World War II, all those beach invasions.
In World War II, you're less likely to a Marine is less likely to be recovered and cycled back. Whereas the Army, because you're not surrounded by water, you're more likely to get recovered and taken home. But
also, I mean, relatively speaking, from a data point of view, it's a very small sampling size, right? 8, 9, 10. There's only, relatively speaking, a handful. Mm-hmm. So I think it'd be hard to draw any real conclusions, although your points are valid.
Well, what I'm just saying is that it would be interesting to see, of all the Purple Heart recipients, yes, Jay, the Army did conduct more amphibious operations than the Marine Corps in World War II. What I'm saying, though, is that without diving too deep, I'm betting that a lot of these high-end recipients of Purple Hearts in the Army were in Europe. and not from the Pacific. I'm not saying that there weren't a lot of Purple Heart recipients with Marine Corps and the Army in the Pacific. I'm saying because of the high number.
I know what you're trying to say. The mortality rate was higher.
Right. That's where I was going with it. You're more likely to have in the Pacific more posthumous recipients
That
than you are.
that really cuts your number off too.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm just it's that would be an interesting thing to look at to see if there is a correlation there.
Well, and I would be interested to see how it correlates in Vietnam too, because I know the Marines had the policy, 3 Purple Hearts, you go home.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the Army policy was. I don't know if it was the same or if they even had that policy.
Because
I wish Hector was in on this conversation. You might actually know that policy.
Robert T. Frederick, Major General Robert T. Frederick, he is one of the 8 recipients.
Okay.
Now it's a Purple Heart post Civil War.
Post 1970.
Yeah.
Oh, 19. Okay, duh. Okay.
Yeah.
I missed that.
So in the Civil War, that's where the Medal of Honor started, and it's basically you got wounded, you got a Medal of Honor.
Okay.
It wasn't until after that it became an above and beyond.
Got it.
Awarding. But yeah, here's a perfect example. In World War II, the number 8, or Robert T. Frederick, got 8 Purple Hearts, and he was the 1st Special Services Force, the 1st Allied Airborne Task Force, and the 45th Infantry Division. All European theater.
Italy, then.
Yeah, all European theater stuff. And then William G. Bill White, 9 in World War II and 1 in Korea. Again, I will bet you those 9 were from Europe. Albert L. Ireland, again, was Marine Corps. Let's see here.
Mandarin Mike, we boring you to death over there?
You're muted, sir.
I was assembling my pizza.
I was going to say, he's got pizza on the brain, man.
Yeah, right?
My chicken and ham pizza with red peppers and olives and mushrooms.
See, now you're making me hungry. So Albert Luke Ireland was with. Oh, interesting. Jay, you'll find this interesting. Albert L. Ireland passed away in Larned, Kansas in 1997. The reason why that's interesting is that our great-great-grandfather is buried in Larned, Kansas.
Okay.
Now, he is not buried Ireland is not buried in Kansas. He's buried in Cold Spring, New York. But
wonder why they put him there. Family.
Well, he's from Nelsonville, New York, so
Gotcha.
Probably so. And he started with in 1941 with the Royal Canadian Air Force.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, in 1941 he enlisted in the Royal Canadian Air Force, beginning his military career. At the time, the United States had not entered Second World War, and Ireland wanted to become a fighter pilot. but a sinus problem prevented him. So he spent only 9 months in the RCAF, concluding his service in November of 41.
Good timing.
After a few times in the air, he later remarked, they discovered my sinus condition. 5 days after Pearl Harbor, he joined the Marine Corps, spent 27 months overseas serving as a machine gunner. He was first wounded in Guadalcanal when 2 pieces of shrapnel penetrated his back and lodged in his left lung.
Ooh. And that was his first?
Yeah. 4 more times in the Battle of Okinawa. And he was also contracted malaria during the Guadalcanal campaign. Like, shit, who didn't contract malaria when they were on Guadalcanal?
You're a walking parasite coming out of Guadalcanal.
Yeah. His first Okinawa wound, shrapnel in the leg and right arm, occurred on April 16th of 45. On 22nd, shrapnel struck him again. And on May 23rd, shrapnel hit his face. His final Okinawa wound was a sniper's bullet to the face on June 12th, 1945. This guy would not give up.
Oh, hell no. In the face? Come on.
Yeah.
Twice. Oh, I'm going to catch that bullet with my cheek.
Right?
Oh, dude.
That's one of those, any couple inches, any other direction, he probably would have been dead.
Yeah.
Twice.
2 of his teeth were shot out on that last one by the sniper.
It must have done that number.
Yeah. All his Okinawa wounds occurred on Sugarloaf Hill, where he served with the 1st Battalion, 4th Marine, 6th Marine Division.
Yeah, I bet he was glad to leave there.
Yeah. Still carrying shrapnel in his lung, he returned to the United States in 1945 with full disability, spending a year as a VA patient. Doctors suggested surgery to remove half of his lung, but he refused the operation. He traveled to Arizona, and eventually his lung improved. Remarking on his recovery, Ireland later said, I was only 40% disabled, and the doctors said it was a miracle. I still have that piece of shrapnel in my lung. What the actual hell?
And
that was just World War. That was 4. He got 4 more in Korea.
Wait, so he's 40. He's 100% disabled coming back from World War II. Gets to 40% disabled. I want to hear the rest of the story. Keep it going.
So he became a reservist after the end of World War II and attended the School of Health and Education at Ithaca College from 48 to 49. He also attended the University of Arizona and the University of Notre Dame, entering the Notre Dame Physical Education School with plans of becoming a coach. He volunteered for active duty in the fall of 50 after the outbreak of the Korean War, completing refresher combat training at Camp Lejeune in early January of 51 and applying for combat duty. However, because Ireland had received more than 2 Purple Hearts, the first sergeant there who was creating the list of Marines to be sent to Korea attempted to prevent him from going to combat.
That would be smart.
On October 23rd, 50, the Marine Corps had made a regulation that any Marine suffering 2 or more wounds in World War II or Korea was to be removed from fighting. The first sergeant, however, was overruled. Later, Ireland appealed to the Commandant of the Marine Corps, General Clifton B. Cates, in Washington, D.C.
Wow.
After 2 days of talking and waiting, Ireland was allowed to go fighting, and by January of 51, he was en route to the West Coast, preparatory to joining his Marine buddies in the Korean War. And that preparatory is in quotes. So I guess he said it. General Cates was later quoted in Time magazine as stating, if the sergeant wants to fight, let him fight. At the time, Ireland held the rank of corporal. His mother, Catherine, at first objected when he wanted to fight again. But as Ireland told the press, I explained to her we had another job to do, and it would take a lot of men. And that changed her mind. We're going to change my mom's mind. Not after receiving five Purple Hearts.
Even after, like receiving one, probably.
Right?
From all the stories you said about your mother.
Yeah. Ireland was flown from Washington to San Francisco and out to Korea. In Korea, he led an infantry rocket unit. He was a squad leader with Company I, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines. On September 26th, 1951, his patrol was ambushed by North Korean soldiers while searching for a break in the communication line. He ordered his men to take cover, and expressing complete disregard for his personal safety, he fearlessly crawled towards the hostile troops. Then, with grenades and rifle fire, Ireland single-handedly killed several of the enemy and forced the remainder to withdraw, remaining in his position while the wiremen fixed the communication line.
Wow.
He got the Bronze Star for that.
Good.
On December 51, after he had suffered shrapnel to the neck and mortar fragments to the face again, the Marine Corps decided to ship him home, despite his continued desire to serve in combat. His final wound, shrapnel to the eye and face, on December 29, 1951, was severe enough for him to be medically discharged. His other Korean wounds occurred on June 2, July 2, and July 7 of 1951. He also suffered frostbite in Korea. Ireland earned 4 Purple Hearts as a result of his Korean war wounds.
Jeez Louise.
Guy wouldn't give up.
No, Wow.
That's crazy.
Chris, have you read much on SOG?
No,
Those guys
I have not.
I've been listening to a podcast by those guys, for those guys, where SOG guys interview other SOG guys. They're some intense people, and they talk about it like it's nothing. But you listen to the words coming out of their mouth.
Well, Jay commented that if I want to talk about first special services force, we got a guy here in Pleasant Hill that was part of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So this cat got the Bronze Star with V device and 1 gold service star. Let's see what the V device for that is for.
I believe that's for. Is it for Valor?
In the Army, the V is worn solely to denote participation in acts of heroism involving conflict with an armed enemy. And the star is for additional awards. So he received the Bronze Star twice. And then in the Marine Corps, it's wanted to denote combat heroism or to recognize individuals who are exposed to personal hazard during direct participation in combat operations. I think taking it in the face a couple of times with shrapnel,
Kind of a
exposed to
bullet, getting shrapnel in the eye. Come on.
Yeah. Oh, Joe wasn't in the first SSF. His uncle was in the first SSF.
Gotcha.
He wrote an oral history about him. Okay.
That's still pretty cool.
Wow.
Might have to track that book down.
So, anywho. Well, we are 2 hours and 10 minutes in. I got 2 miniatures painted, which is good for me. Here is what my here's what my where's my cursor? There's my cursor. Here's what my Ugnaught looks like. It sounds like Reese's dog is hacking up a lung.
Not my dog.
It's one of my cats.
Oh,
Although my dog's almost got in a fight today too. So.
and then here's my Yoder.
Yeah, I like. Gosh, she's struggling there.
If you need to go do the cat Heimlich, go ahead.
I think she's okay. I do keep an eye on them though.
Yeah. So, how many of these make 1 point?
What is that?
It's axis and
Roughly
they're-
what? Roughly 15 millimeter.
Maybe I don't know. It's about 172 scale. Axis and Allies paratrooper.
Oh, about 20 millimeter.
Maybe.
I'd say if you do full on, basing and everything, I'd say 2 of them.
Okay. So I'm not going to do a base on them. I'm simply going to paint the base a solid color to match the Axis and Allies colors. So, want to say 3 of them make a point then?
Yeah,
Okay.
Charles, you're killing me, brother. Should we nominate Hex for a Broken Heart Award since he failed on his Friday night outing? Damn, that is harsh.
Is there a backstory to this that I missed?
Oh, he said earlier that
Oh, he had a double date too with 2 pillows.
no.
Oh. Didn't know what we were.
Yeah, I'm an hour late, so.
I survived Fat Girl Friday and got nothing.
Oh.
Sounds like a fun Friday.
Hey, Hex, if you need some exercise, man, you can help me run down a cow if you need to.
I think that's what he was hoping to do.
But bump.
Ooh.
Ah!
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah, I went to Central Missouri State University in Warrensburg, Missouri.
No shortage of cows.
Tons of girls there, just not many of them.
Oh, man.
Where my mom was a manager with Bar and Lee Summit, and she said you could always tell when the Lone Jack girls came in. You hear the air brakes.
Oh, man.
Cattle truck. Mom was ruthless. She was. Now, if she liked you, you were golden. You were set. She would defend you to the ends of the earth up until the time you did something to piss her off, or she had somehow perceived some sort of slight towards her, me, my brother, her family, the cat.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
then let's put it this way. I'm certain she still holds a grudge 14 years to the day after she has died against my first girlfriend.
That bad, huh?
Oh, my Lord. What my first girlfriend did to me, or that my
Both.
mom?
Probably both.
A little of column A, a little of column B.
That's funny. Sounds like somebody I would enjoy the company of, though.
She was by no means was she perfect.
Who is?
And she did have issues. She had subscriptions.
Yeah.
I understand.
But best mom I could have ever asked for.
Amen to that. I'm gonna go see my mom tomorrow.
Well,
Well, I
If-
called my
if-
oldest and wished her a happy Mother's Day because I know she's going to be busy tomorrow, and I'll call my mom tomorrow.
yeah, I was about to say, if you still have a mother, please, 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 um, for for your own benefit, please take the time to give her a call.
Oh, like we talk like
And that's not just
yeah.
you.
We talk once a week. I know
Yeah,
you were telling me about once a day, but we talk once a week, and
Yeah,
I will
and
definitely
that
call.
wasn't necessarily to you. That's to anybody out there.
I know, boss. I don't take that stuff personal.
Um,
Yeah,
and,
I'm
you know,
gonna drive.
it-
Gonna drive
Go
in the
ahead.
morning and catch my mother and my remaining grandmother at church on Sunday morning, and then come home and have Sunday lunch with them and spend the afternoon with them. So
Nice.
all right, I just took my brother's suggestion, and
Dry brush?
I did a dry brush on his cloak, and his pants.
Yeah, your brother was right.
Excuse me. So there you have it. And if you are you're not in a great relationship with your mom, I apologize for. I'm sorry that is the case for you. Um, I will admit that there was a time in my life that I did not have a great relationship with my mom, due to external
Horses.
yeah, basically my ex-wife being a horrible individual,
Yeah.
yeah,
but we won't go into that. Hexy, or not Hexy, Hissy.
Yeah.
After we wrap up tonight, if you're up to it, I'd like to bend your ear.
Yeah, I'm all yours, boss.
something. Okay. It's not
Later
it's
for you than it is for me. So
yeah. Let's see. Charles says, "Yep, mom's held a grudge against her brother-in-law, brother and brother-in-law for almost 30 years to her dying day, and probably then some." Yeah, it sounds like our moms were very similar, Charles. Did I can't remember if I've told you guys the story of how she got the nickname Tacky Bitch.
Well, I didn't know that was a nickname. Oh my God.
That was her nickname. Her official nickname in the motorcycle club that we were a part of was Babe.
Okay.
But yeah, Jay just said our mother could hold a grudge. Oh yes. Oh yes. So we're on a motorcycle run. Dad was on the 750 BMW, R75/5 short shaft, beautiful motorcycle. And Jay was on the bike with him. Had to be probably no more than 3 or 4 years old. I was on the bike. I was behind Mom on the little 350 Honda, Silver Wing. I was 7, maybe 8 years old. And we were in the back roads of Texas doing, highway speeds. And we came up to a blind 90-degree turn with no warning. Dad made the turn without a problem. He was ahead of us. Dad made the turn without a problem. Mom, being on the smaller bike, was not able to make that turn because she didn't have the anti-lock brakes and the size of the motorcycle to help her lean into it, that type of thing.
Uh-huh.
So straight ahead, you ran out of the pavement and went onto a gravel road that had a barbed wire fence at the end of it, about
no.
about 50 yards in. Well, she had two choices: lay the bike down or ride into barbed wire fence. You don't want to ride into a barbed wire fence.
No.
So she decided to lay it down. She tells me, and at that point in time, family called me Jimmy. She said, "Jimmy, hold on. I'm gonna lay the motorcycle down." And I knew what she meant. I was 7 or 8, so I knew what was going to happen. She laid it down. She got thrown from the bike. I rode that son of a bitch all the way until it stopped. Pucker factor was about 1,000 on a 1 to 10, right? Not a scratch on me.
You rode the bike on its side basically down a gravel road.
Mm-hmm. Not a scratch on me.
Ow.
Mom had a pretty bad sprained ankle, but that was it. The first person to arrive on the scene was a guy, and I don't remember his name off the top of my brain, but at some point in time in history, he had slighted our mother, real or perceived, and he comes up and says, "Beth, are you okay?" She takes her helmet off, and I don't remember this because I was, 20, 30 yards down the road, right? But I'm hearing the stories. She takes her helmet off, looks him dead in the eye, and says, "I'd rather die here in the side of the road than get help from you." Our next door neighbors come up right behind him, just as she says it, Mike and Connie Hendricks. And they come up and say, "Beth, are you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I think I sprained my ankle. Could you go check on Jimmy, make sure he's okay?" With, just a little, everything's hunky-dory, everything's okay and fine.
Yeah.
But she went from venomous, servile hatred to nonchalant and everything's okay in the snap of a finger. That encompasses my mother.
Very cool.
I had an uncle roll a 4-wheeler through a barbed wire fence.
Yeah, no, it's no bueno.
His back does not look good to this day.
No.
Now, I'm fortunate. I never went through a barbed wire fence, but I got some pretty gnarly mountain bike stories. Me dismounting voluntarily and involuntarily.
Yeah. Well, do you have a scar on your chin?
I have
No, on
a
your
scar
chin.
here. I gave a guy a scar on his lip. We were in wrestling practice in high school, and we both shot to do single leg takedowns, and I got beneath him, and my forehead hit him right in the lip and drove his teeth. And I reached up and pulled his lip over his teeth, and to this day, he has a little smiley.
Nice.
Yeah.
I got
I
a
told him
scar
you're
right
welcome.
here.
I was polite about it.
Yeah. I got a scar right here that happened when I was riding my bicycle. It was after school. This is when I lived in Kansas City for the first time with my mom. So it was either second half of 8th or all of 9th grade, as we've talked about, Hissy.
Yep.
And I was riding my bicycle to head up to the after-school daycare that my mom's best friend's son went to after he got out of elementary school. I think he was first grade, second grade. Anyway, because I would pick him up, take him home, watch him after school. until his mom came to pick him up.
Mm-hmm.
I was riding my bicycle up a slight hill on the sidewalk, and my foot slipped off the pedal.
Mm.
Bike went this way, glasses flew that way, and I came down, bam, right there, split it wide open on the cement on the sidewalk. Blood just
Oh yeah, blood
flowing
everywhere.
down me. 2 teeth chipped.
See, oh, knock on
From
wood,
the
man.
head.
I have been so fortunate.
I picked my bike up, and it's fine. I pick my glasses up, put them on, and I go up to the daycare to pick up the boy, and the staff was like, "Are you okay?" "Oh yeah, I'm fine. Just I fell off my bike. I hit those cement. I'm okay. I'm fine." They cleaned me up and put a butterfly bandage on. Get home. Mom gets home like, "What the hell happened to you?" "Fell off my bike, Mom. I'm okay. We need to go get your stitches." No. Not happening.
No.
And not because I thought, chicks dig scars, but it's because I hate needles.
Okay.
But, chicks do dig scars. Tim,
Well, I have enough crash stories I could fill a whole episode, but I'll tell you how I got this scar. It's not a big deal now, but when I first moved to San Diego, so I'm in my 50s, about your age, and I'm still out mountain biking. I used to do volunteer work and stuff like that. And come to find out, they got a mountain bike race at Balboa Park, and I live like half a mile away. So I sign up in my age group, 50 plus, and I haven't, and I never competed. I would do races just for the exercise and camaraderie. And so I go over there, and they were people starting in age categories, and we were, the oldest, so we went last because we're probably the slowest. And so our little group heads off, and we wind along, and then we hit this single track that just drops, but there's a funnel, kind of the trail funnels from a service road into a single track, and some kid, 20 something, who had gotten to the race late was coming up behind and uber aggressive. So as we're starting to single file down into this, he cuts me off, clips my front handlebar. I go over, and there's one tree stump on the trail, and my head hits the tree stump full on. Boom. I just bought brand new Oakleys, and the first thing I did is I jumped up and I'm like, come on, and I pull my Oakleys off, make sure they weren't scratched. My helmet has tree bark in it. I suffered a concussion. I know I messed something up in my neck, and I'm fine now. And then I was scraped all over, and blood everywhere. And yeah, welcome to San Diego. And then the kid kind of said, "You okay?" Of course, and I wasn't, but I wasn't going to make a big deal about it. I'm just like, yeah, go. And so I got back around the course. There's a 3-mile course or 2.5-mile course, something like that. And this happened in the first half a mile. So I kind of make it around the first lap. And, I've got dried blood and just, yeah. So I just put my bike up on the rack. And I've had a number of races where I've injured out.
Yeah.
One where I broke my bike. That's another story, but literally hit the side of a thing moving at very high speed, and it just, my steel frame bent and ovalized my top tube. I mean, I hit it with some force.
These bikes sound just about as dangerous as horses.
I've always been an aggressive type.
Gotcha.
So, bikes don't hurt people. People hurt people.
I understand.
And yeah, I was aggressive, and like I said, used to do some real mountain biking races. And again, it was fun, but yeah, I wasn't on a dirt bike. It was all human powered, Charles. But gravity, I've got a. Maybe I'll find it. I'll put it on my channel. I've got a GoPro of one of my downhills, and you can't see how steep it is. I mean, this stuff, it's almost unrideable. It's how I want to say vertical. That's not quite it, but it's pretty damn steep. And I came down that thing, and I don't know how many times my tires actually got traction. It was basically just hang on and strategically brake because you can't really brake, but. I had a blast doing that stuff. But anyway, like I said, I can tell you some stories another night. I've got some funny ones. The deer one really got, because the second night, I hit the same trail, same deer jumped out.
Oh no!
But I was already thinking, is he going to do it again? Boom, and come down. And so it must have been he had a pattern, and on the same cycle, and we just 2 nights in a row crossed paths within a few feet.
There's a guy up here that had a deer try to knock him off a 4-wheeler.
Wow.
And
that's aggressive.
Not intentionally. The deer, same situation as you, but he was coming just a little too fast, and the deer hit him. And deer got pretty messed up, and he ended up putting it down with a pocket knife.
Yeah.
But his dad comes around the corner on the 4-wheeler behind him, and all he sees is his son on the ground wrestling a deer, holding its head up, trying to slit its throat with a knife. And he's like, "Hey, man, come on! Like, I know it's deer season, but we don't have to be that aggressive."
Wow. Now, I was fortunate because the first night it hopped out, and I'm thinking I'm T-boning it, and it literally hopped off.
Yeah.
I would have hit it, right? And so the second night, I'm like, hold on. I know deer are like most animals will kind of have a pattern or whatever. And I'm like, this is about the same time. So I came down a little bit slower, and sure enough, it popped out again. I'm like, you mother. But third night, no deer. So changed his pattern, I guess. But
okay, Chris, on Monday evening, I'll document everything I got painted since the last time I checked in on the paint challenge. But I just got 6 of these little Axis and Allies guys done, and 9 of the 54 millimeter Brits done.
All right.
So
sounds good.
I'm probably going to bail on the challenge halfway through June.
Hey,
that's not bailing.
I think I've got my 200 points already. I just need to tally them up.
You do your thing, man.
And then try to get the YouTube channel up and running too. So,
well, if you need help,
and I'm going to ask a ton of questions, and I'm going to be that annoying kid at the front door going, "Can you help me with my project? Can you help me with my project?" So,
not a problem. It's all about helping each other out.
Yep.
I just want to document my campaigns, and my blog used to be perfect because I was on my computer writing all the time for school anyway. I could just tab over to it, but now I don't know. I don't have the writing itch like I used to. I feel like it'd be easier to document it with video. So
yeah.
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, that deer smartened up and said that a-hole's coming back another night. I'm not going to be here. I went through a tree and got a tick in my arm. I don't know how I did that.
A tick is in like a rat.
Tick. Yeah, I actually dug it out with a pocket knife. But
nice.
Because I was stupid. But X-Acto knife, not pocket knife, X-Acto knife.
I pulled one of those off my neck earlier today. He wasn't attached, but I had a couple of them.
Well, where I was riding in Northern California, we had a real concern of Lyme disease.
Okay, I'm surprised you didn't have Rocky Mountain spotted fever or something over there too.
If we did, I was unaware of it. But they had these. I used to ride a lot of single tracks, and again, I'd do my work and I'd go ride, and it'd be evening, and I had a light, and because I used to love riding at night. It's a whole different thing. Mm-hmm. And there's this trail called Seven Sisters, and it's basically 7 hills, but it's a little more than rolling. I mean, you get some speed, you hit down, but you just got to really work to get up the next side. But when you're in shape and stuff like that, it's a really good workout because it's like doing sprints. So I'm coming along, and I have a little Batman bell on my handlebar, and it's to just warn people. So I'm coming along, and I'm all ching, 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 and I hear ching, 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 ching. As we're both coming down, I look up and I'm coming down the single track. This dude's coming down the single track. But we both just barely move over to the right. He passes, I pass, but I'm on the side with a tree, and I go right through all the bushes.
Yeah.
And I was like, God damn it. But we don't stop. I can hear him huffing up the other side, and I just kept going, right? I was just like, whoop. If I meet you, it'll be in the parking lot.
Yep.
And so I get home, and sure enough, I had a tick buried in my arm. I'm like, how the hell do you get a tick?
Was it a seed tick or was it a full?
No, it's a full-on tick.
Okay, because like seed ticks, when they bite, they bury in deep.
Well, this one was in the skin because I was washing. I'm like, what the? And I'm like, God. I go, that was, and I knew it was from that tree because that was the only one bush that I'd gone through.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They make contact with you. They're gonna dig in, those seed ticks, and they're awful.
I was moving. I was like moving. It was not. I must have hit it, and it must have tumbled through the air and landed on me somehow.
Was it like late spring, early summer?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Hate those things.
Well, that's the only time I ever got a tick.
Really?
Yeah, I was doing one mountain bike race, and I had a guy run me off the trail through a poison oak bush. That was fun.
Yeah, I pulled more ticks off of me than I can count.
No, I don't. You probably are in the bush more than I'm in the bush.
Yeah,
I mean that literally in the bush, because when I'm riding on the trails, it's not like I'm cross country in.
Yeah, and I may be sitting in a briar patch, half hidden, waiting on a squirrel or something too. So I mean that.
Yeah, no, you're asking for
it. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and again, a lot of times I'm moving, and I've come across. You guys are talking about bulls. I've come across bulls.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I was on a steep climb, and I'm coming up because we go in a lot of the regional parks in Northern California allow for cattle to graze in some sections of them. They kind of share the land a little bit, right? And so, yeah, I've come across a number of those type of things where it's like, I think I'm done for the night trying to get to the ridge. I'm just going to turn around here. Yeah. You're good, Mr. Bull. I'm going the other way now.
Yeah, and cows are stupid. They're just, I love them, but they're so stupid.
I found myself in the middle of a pack of 4 or 5 of them jogging along with me, like part of them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm riding along, and I kind of and I don't try to spook them. I'm not stupid, right? I know leave animals alone, but I'm ballsing through this fire road, and I come up on them, and it's like I'm in them, and they just kind of jogged along with me for a bit, and it was fine.
Yeah.
They didn't threaten me, and I just was like, okay, I'm going to get out of your way as quickly as I can.
If they don't see you as a threat, they're not going to worry about it.
Well, they're in an area where there's a lot of hikers and a lot of mountain bikers and some equestrians, so they're not. It's not seeing a human.
Yeah, seeing a bike wouldn't mess with them. No, but I mean, with any prey animal, they're going to have their circles, their fight circle, or not their fight circle, their threat circle and their flee circle.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can stay in that threat circle, you can hurt them. But the minute you move to that flee circle, you're going to lose all control.
Well, I didn't want to be in any circle.
Yeah, I get it.
I wanted to be in the not here circle.
I get it. Yeah.
And so what I basically did is they started jogging, and I just slowed down. And like I said, I'd come over this little berm right into a pack of them. And I'm like, holy crap. It was like nothing I could do. And they kind of spooked a little, and I just kind of backed off, and they ran off. And
I can't remember if you were on when I told about my afternoon.
Well, I heard the part about you trying to get a cow, but I didn't hear the whole story.
So my wife and I were going to Walmart, and she was driving. I was in the passenger seat, and we look out. And, that's a nice looking bull calf. Wait, that's on the wrong side of the fence. And he's like on the highway side of the fence.
Okay.
And she yanks the car over, and I jump out and start trying to push him back to safety. Because the last thing you want is a 500-pound steer standing in the middle of the road, getting hit by a semi truck, or even worse, a small car, because they go through a windshield. And so I started pushing him back towards because the fence ran basically parallel to the road, and there was maybe a 5-acre slot where somebody's house was, where the fence kind of went back around it. So we can just push him in there. I can figure out how to work with him. Well, I'm pushing him back that way, and I see some guy kind of coming towards me and, backing up. He's working this cow too. I was like, oh, it's his cow. He goes, hey, your cow's out. I was like, he's not mine. we finally got him worked there, and we got him behind a garden shed, and we had him cornered. We're sitting there, and we were knocking on the door and ringing the doorbell. Nobody's home, and finally we're like, okay, there's a hole in this pipe fence here. We might be able to push him through. About that time, the homeowner showed up, and she's like, yeah, it's not mine, but I know the guy's whose it is.
Oh, okay.
And he lives down there, and so he shows up in a pickup truck. And he's probably in his 80s, and he's got a big bandage over one ear, and like one foot's all like in a cast or something too. And he's like, "Yeah, I'm in no condition to chase down this cow." And me and this other 20-something-year-old boy are like, "Why not? Right? We'll do it."
Yeah.
And so we tried to push him through the hole in the pipe fence, and he juked out the other guy and just started making a beeline for the highway. Like, oh, that's not good. So we got him headed off and ran him back down the same fence line for probably a quarter of a mile. And about that time, we knew he was going to keep going that way, so we hopped in the bed of the pickup. And
now, was he going back towards home or away from home?
Kind of. He's around the same pasture that he's supposed to be getting in. We're just looking for a hole in the fence or a gate at that point. Well, we got to the gate, and it was padlocked, and nobody had a key. And he just down the dirt road at this point. So he's cut off the highway and going down a side road. Now we've got 2 pickups and about 6 people. 2 drivers and then 6 people running.
Right.
And finally ran him down into the swampy area where there was the fence was bad enough he could get through. But I checked my steps, and I'd got about 1.5 miles working this cow.
And you know that calf is back with his buddies going, you should have seen one of those, what I did tonight. I made them humans taste my hat. Yeah, and they're probably like high hoofing him, like, dude, you're the man.
He almost jumped out in front of a semi. And I darted out on the highway to kind of juke him out to get him to go the other way. See you, Mike. And sorry, he was waving. I thought he was getting out, and I jumped out the highway to juke out the steer. And so he jumps back across the ditch and starts running full out and hits that 6-wire barbed wire fence at a full tilt and just crumples up, and the fence boings, and he rolls and he gets up and he's fine. And I'm sitting there going, I am going to be rebuilding some fence tonight for somebody, right? Because I thought he was going through the fence. I didn't realize it was a 6-wire fence. I thought it was like a 3 or 4-wire fence. But if he'd gone, he would have saved us so much effort if he'd just gone through that fence.
Right. They're meant to keep them in.
Exactly.
And it definitely keeps them out as well.
I heard that wire, that pull and those the claws you've used to put them on a T-post. I heard those creak, and I'm like, I thought that fence was coming down, but
that was tonight.
That was about 12:15 noonish.
Okay.
So you're talking about how he got down into a swampy area.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a small town northeast of Austin called Hutto.
Okay.
Hutto.
Okay.
Their high school mascot is the Hippos. They're the Hutto Hippos.
Oh, first thing I thought is hungry hippos. Lunchtime at that school.
And you may be thinking, well, why does a small town in Texas have a high school mascot after the Hippos? Well, back in the late 1800s, the circus came to town, and a male hippo got out and went down into this ravine, and he was a bastard to get out.
Oh, hippos are super aggressive animals.
I wouldn't mess with him.
He did not want to come out. And so when a couple of years later, I mean, like 10 or 15 years later, they opened up the high school, and they needed a mascot, and everybody remembered how mean that hippo was.
Hutto Hippo.
So they're the Hutto Hippos.
That's cool.
I've never messed with hippos. The biggest thing I've messed with was bison, and I wouldn't do it again. I'm slightly older and a whole lot wiser, and I know better than that now.
Yeah, it's the wiser part that's the key there.
Well, Papa Papa and Paul both had a couple of buddies that they were always into something. Oh, we're going to make money doing this. Oh, we're going to make money doing that. And they figured they could make money raising bison.
Okay.
So they built the standard 5-wire barbed wire fence, and they got their pasture all set up, and they know cattle, so they can be able to handle bison, and
Why not?
they got a trailer load of them, and yeah, they're a little rough to load in the trailer, but they got the trailer out there and unloaded them, and they left that trailer at a full run, and they didn't even see that fence. They just went straight through it and kept on going. And now they're sitting there with their hands on their hips going, now how are we going to get those guys back?
Our investment just ran off.
Some farmer had a round bale on a hay spike on the back of his tractor, and they saw it and started trotting and following it, so he just brought the whole herd back.
Wow.
I knew a guy in the Hawaii, the Great Basin area in Oregon, that used to help herd bison on horseback. And he said there was one idiot that was just swinging his rope around, decided he was going to rope this bison calf. And he did, and the calf bawled, and then Mama showed up.
Oh,
He
bad move.
On. He said it was rough.
There's no fighting. You're gonna lose.
Yeah. No.
There's no bulldog and a bison.
No. I call it a cow fight. More of a rout.
You're gonna get your shit stomped into the dirt by a fucking bison.
I've seen some nasty cow fights, but I cannot imagine having, number one, a bison on the end of a rope, and then number two, having mama bison trying to gore your horse while you're trying to figure out how to turn loose of your rope.
Yeah.
No, that's not for me. Not at my age anymore.
No.
When I was younger, I would have done stuff like that. I didn't have a chance to, but
Oh yeah.
I would have, but no way today.
I read books about these guys that went down into the Big Bend area, Texas, and chased wild cattle and stuff in the 30s just to make a living. And I was like, man, I would have loved to gone down there with them and done that. But
See, the thing is, when you're young, you can make mistakes that your body pays for, right?
Yeah.
And you can keep going. And then when you get older, you can keep doing it if you've been doing it because you know what not to do. But see, me, if I started doing it, I don't have that experience. I would just break everything. I mean, done. So I'm not even interested in it. I respect people who could do it, but it's like, no, my day's gone for that.
Riding full tilt through brush is a terrifying prospect if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why the King Ranch now herds its cattle with helicopters.
See, and I've got problems with that, but that has nothing to do with tradition or anything else. But it has everything to do with stress on the cattle. But they're going to do what they're going to do.
Well, I mean, Santa Gertrudis are very resilient beasts.
Yes, they are. We had one named Daisy, and she lived to be 33.
Yeah. Tim, yeah, that's why people go to Yellowstone now is to, pet the furry cow and get their shit knocked in the dirt.
Yeah, I don't turn my back on one of those things. I used to have to go clean the pen for one of them. And I don't know. He'd been neutered, so he was supposedly less aggressive. But
less.
Yeah, I never turned my back on that guy ever.
Yeah, he was probably cussing as soon as he turns his fucking back.
The
Motherfucker won't turn around as soon as he does.
And I can clear a fence faster than just about anything if I got something on my tail. I've done it.
Oh shit! I can run faster scared. You hope you can run faster scared than they can mad.
Yeah.
It's like the sign says, you better be able to cross this field in 9.9 seconds because the bull can do it in 10.
Yeah.
Well, so that's why my wisdom came in. Now, I was fast. Okay. I'm going to sound like an old man. When I played college football, I ran a 4.5 which is moving. But I still always had a fat friend. Because you never know. You need somebody I don't have to outrun that cow. I just got to outrun my fat friend. Now, I will say this: he was a tough motherfucker because a lot of times we, do shit you probably shouldn't be doing, and he'd be the one again that had to take the brunt of it. So he was our tank.
So
the real reason you carry a 22 when you're out doing shit
shoot your friend in the knee.
is shoot your friend in the knee. You're not gonna kill him, but that bear's not gonna fucking bother you.
Yeah, your bear don't care why you did it. He just knows he's got an easy target.
So I was 4 or 5. We were out checking calves, and there was a new one on the ground. And I went to go look at it, which, by 4 or 5, I got several years of experience on me. And it was just me and Papa. And I walked up this calf, checking and everything else. I'm rubbing on this calf, and not this cow's mama. I'm watching mama. I know better than that. Some other cow decided she didn't like that and took out after me. She was an evil cow. We took care of her.
That was the aunt.
Yeah, I guess so. We took care of her the next year. But started after me.
But by taking care of,
put her
in the freezer,
put her in the chute and dehorned her because she was goring big 8-inch holes into the side of their cows.
Okay, I thought by taking care of, she
that's what
freezer.
I thought.
She became freezer beef.
She was a great mama. We couldn't afford to do that. We just needed to figure out a way to keep her from killing other cows. Yeah, she took out after me. I don't remember much after that. But Papa said I cleared the field, put 1 foot on the trailer hitch, and was over the back of the Dodge, rolling into the bed. He said he'd never seen anybody make that jump that fast, and I'm 5 years old. Just boogity boogie boogie.
Oh, I bet you got some good stories too.
Oh, I did. That's. I think that was the same summer that I slipped off the tailgate and my overalls caught the corner of the tailgate and ripped because there was like a little crack in the tailgate, and I just swung from the back of the tailgate for a little bit from my overalls. Just about 2 feet off the ground or 3 feet off the ground, looking at the ground, just swinging.
So I did a little rock climbing.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have a fear of heights.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I have an attraction to adrenaline.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's why I mountain bike and ride fast and blah blah blah. I respect it. I get a little scared, but I feed off that adrenaline. It's weird. I can't explain it.
No, I get it. I climbed a 100-foot cliff in cowboy boots, free with no rope, because somebody told me I couldn't do it. So,
yeah, I never free soloed anything like that, and I top roped a lot. Okay.
Yeah.
So, and I did some bouldering, but nothing.
I didn't say it was smart, and I didn't say I would do it again. So
well, we were inside this old. It used to be an oil changing place that they turned into an indoor rock climbing, which was cool because you had the pit where you could climb from, and then you got up to where and then a little high, so you have a lot of people could watch what you're doing. Yeah. Anyway, when you're climbing indoors, they got pipes up near the ceiling that they run the ropes up and around a few times.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like in the wild where you can anchor off, right? There's a little. Right. They think they have enough friction, but sometimes not. Yeah. And so what they do is they tell you when you're on belay, they've got anchor points on the floor, right underneath all the padding. And I'm climbing with my buddy who's all of 150 pounds wet. And he doesn't clip in on the floor while I'm climbing. And I climb up about 10, 12 feet, and then there's this vertical. And I suck at this, but I'm like, I'm going to go for it. Boom, I get out and I drop. As I'm falling, I'm expecting that he's going to arrest me, except I see him pass me. And then I'm literally like 3 feet off the ground, the opposite of Tom Cruise, I'm upside down and he's dangling in front of me, and the whole place, it just starts busting up laughing because now there's so much tension on the rope with all these bodies. The belay devices that mine, I'm tied in. His belay device is locked.
Right.
And what they had to do is people had to push me up to get him down. But it was one of these where he would have, because anyway, long story short, it took him about 45 minutes to figure out how to get me high enough and him low enough to get the tension off the rope to unleash him and then get me down.
So luckily we didn't.
He wouldn't lock on the ground.
But I had a similar situation at climbing gym where I missed a handhold. My fault, and I went down, and I had a little 130, 140 pound girl belaying me. And I saw her pass me on the way up.
Yep.
And she got her feet locked up, go upside down into one of those handholds, like Spider-Manning.
Really?
So she's like that, and I'm off the floor, and we got it all figured out and everything else. But I was
Okay.
like, I'm going to hit.
Exact same situation.
Yeah.
Only difference was both him and I were suspended because the blade device had locked, and
She was very experienced. They put a heavier person on belay for me after that.
well,
And
if you just taken clip into the, assuming they had him there, but our gym did.
They
This
may
guy
have,
just
I don't
didn't
know.
clip.
I was not very experienced, and I'm not.
He bought beer the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we walked across the street to a nice pub, and I had a whole pitcher, and I put it on him. I'm like, dude.
The one time I remember going climbing in the wild, though, the guy belaying me was probably 350 pounds. I was not worried. He leaned into that rope. You weren't going anywhere.
Well, also, okay, we used to climb on the at Mount Diablo, which is it's actually the center point of the state of California when it comes to surveying. Not if you try to do angling and math, but
Right.
anyway, there's a lot of sandstone up there.
Mhm.
Okay, and the sandstone on rope is friction, and so you don't get a lot of. I mean, a lot of people own frayed ropes. Let's put it that way, and they're still good, right? It's just they're frayed. So when we were laying out in the wild, for us, it was even a smaller person wouldn't have much of a problem because there was so much friction on the line.
Right.
If you were to fall, but indoor on those pipes, it was like not quite enough.
No, not at all.
Yeah, as you experienced as well.
Yeah, I didn't really climb indoors after that. I was like, I'd rather go up and mess around on the rocks on the cliffs. But
yeah. Well, like I said, I didn't get any. I've been to Yosemite and just bouldered.
Mhm.
I've never climbed anything super high. Again, because my fear of heights, at some point it overwhelms me, right? But I can get up to a certain point and get the adrenaline rush and all of that, and I'm good. And maybe one pitch, maybe a two pitcher every now and then. But beyond that, I'm not. If I can walk off the back, I don't mind belaying. I mean, that's fun.
I'll sit and else somebody on the line all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get two people that know what they're doing, a good team, on belay, off belay, and everything else.
Yeah.
You can cruise.
And I'm anal about that stuff because I don't take safety lightly when I'm out.
No.
Now keep in mind, if I'm riding and doing my own shit, that's a whole different thing because of the adrenaline. But if I'm with other people, I'm a little more conservative because I don't want to be the cause of somebody getting hurt out in
the first time I saw my dad lose his temper, he saw somebody, I guess it was a state fair or something. They had a climbing wall, and the guy running it was hooking kids in wrong. And into somehow he was hooking the harnesses up wrong. I don't remember. I was too young, and my dad lost his cool.
Yeah.
And
it's funny you say that. I saw I don't know, it was a short or video. There's some guy he works in a carnival, and he does one of these where people are on a couple chairs, and they just drop.
Yeah.
And so what he does is he's talking. He goes, "Oh, wait. I didn't pull your shoulder holsters down.
Yeah.
There are no shoulder holsters." And then boom, they drop. That's his gig. Everything's safe. He just makes it like there's a problem, and then they drop. No. Hold on, I need to come over and check your safety belt. Boom.
If I can get my hand gripped down between my knees onto something, solid handhold, I can pull myself down into that chair. I'm not worried.
Like a mechanical bull.
Exactly, like a bronc saddle or something like that.
I want a mechanical bull rider.
If I got a piece of leverage, I'm not coming off of that. And I said, I don't remember what the record was, but it was the after. I didn't go to prom. I went to the after prom. I was too cool to go to prom, but I went to the after party.
You didn't hear my stupid joke, did you?
No, I did.
Okay.
And I don't know. I got on one, and I think I rode it 45, 47 seconds or something.
Wow.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm done. I looked at the guy. I said, I'm stepping off, and I just threw my leg over and walked away.
Then you probably know what rodeo sex is.
Anyway.
No, do you know?
I've heard the term.
Well, no. Okay, so it's when you're fucking your girl from behind, right?
Okay.
And then you got a hold of her hair and you just whisper in her ear, "Your sister was better," and then see if you can hang on for 8 seconds.
But
Kind of like dolphin sex.
anyway,
Have you heard of dolphin sex?
No.
So you get up behind her and you aim for the wrong hole, and she looks behind you and goes, "Ee, ee."
oh, you guys are all.
Reese is going to tell that rodeo sex joke. I can tell.
I've heard it.
Oh, you had? Okay, I thought I had a new one. Jeez, you guys! I was trying to tell a dad joke the other day, and Chris knows every one of my goddamn dad jokes.
You realize if I'm not hanging out with y'all, I'm hanging out with a bunch of old cowboys. So
yeah. Fair enough. Fair enough. Ah.
Yeah. Well, we are now 3 hours in. We only have 2 viewers.
I mean, yes, Tim and Chuck.
Probably. Tim and Charles, probably.
Yeah.
So I am going to go ahead and clock it out for the night. Guys, I want to thank everybody for joining, everybody that came to watch. I appreciate it. Y'all have a great night. We will see you on Wednesday. Probably not going to have a specific topic on Wednesday. We'll probably just have another paint and chat. They seem to work well. You guys seem to like them. So Telemachus is saying goodnight. So it looks like it was Tim and Telemachus. So
TNT.
All right, guys. Y'all take care. Have a great night. And remember, we will see you on the flip side.